What's good, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Hurls and Smalls Show. Our first playoff episode coming to you guys after Super Wildcard weekend. A lot of duds. We had a good game in there, maybe a game and a half. But before we get there, man, Brady, how you doing, man? I know, tough times, but I'm still gonna ask, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Most times it's like, yeah, this sports team could probably bring my mood down a little bit. But where I expected the Vikings to be at in the preseason, this is a magnificent
You're telling
season,
me.
man.
You're telling me you love to bring it up. I had them 2-15, and there they are, almost won 15 games. So even though they won 14 games to get bounced in the first round, still a great season because no one expected them to be as good as they were.
Plus, I think I said it last episode. If it would have came down to Ravens Vikings, anyways, I still would have rooted for the Ravens because
So your
Lamar
Super Bowl
Jackson's my favorite
matchup
player.
is already done after the wild card round, huh?
Yeah.
Would you like to?
Good thing we ain't.
Yeah.
Good thing we ain't bet nothing on that.
Would you like to make a new, just not the whole thing, but just a new Super Bowl? I mean, I'm sure you still have Ravens. Who do you have coming out of the NFC now? Now that your picker is gone.
So if the Rams just get there, I still get the points because my pick just got beat by the team that made it.
Sure, if you want to take the Rams, you're gonna take the Rams. And it's
whoever
beat the Rams. Like, bro, that's gonna keep
Nobody's
on going.
beating the Lions, bro.
So you got the Lions. Okay. Yeah, with the way the Eagles look this weekend, I don't know.
Before we get into football too far, though, I would just like to say shout out to everybody in California, the whole place. Prayers up to you.
I know you're over there. Plug is over there too, I think.
I think Plug in California, but I don't know why he root for every Boston team.
His dad, you remember him telling me his dad is a Boston sports fan.
But I know that he went to summer league and Ant was supposed to go with him, and Ant
Ant
missed out.
yeah.
Kind of like someone else did,
The fuck? No, I didn't. I literally didn't. But
how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. Work was fine. Wildcard weekend was kind of a dud, like I was saying earlier. But football is football. Playoff football, I'm sure to get better as things go on. I was disappointed in a couple of teams, disappointed in a couple of players, but I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Living life. Ready to get another great episode in the books.
If you're watching this, leave us a subscription, leave us a like, leave us a comment. We're gonna have to start pushing more on YouTube because I think TikTok going down. So we're gonna have to grow a different route. Mm-hmm. Be looking out for maybe a new Twitter account. I'm not doing this again.
I was thinking about the Twitter. When did you have an idea on when you wanted to make it? Because I remember you bringing it up last episode, and
I said I was gonna make it like a week and a half ago, and then I never even attempted.
It's kind of like me with the TikTok, how I was in the beginning. It's like, yeah, I'll make it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. So it'll be there eventually. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah,
it'll be there by the end of the Super Bowl. We'll definitely have a Twitter account.
Okay.
We'll definitely have a Twitter
account.
He's giving
himself like 3 weeks. He's giving himself like 3 weeks to make it. Okay. But
before we get into wild card, we can review my bold predictions. And the thing that you had been begging for, the fantasy 4-man playoff.
We didn't agree to this, by the way. He wanted to take this into the playoffs, by the way. It wasn't we. I was trying to say it wasn't always we. He wanted to take this into the playoffs, but I never did. It's like, yeah, whatever. If I won out, we take it into the playoffs. So what? It's like, I didn't want to take it into the playoffs, but go ahead.
This is a compulsive liar we have right here. This man had been begging. And then before we even did last episode, I said, so do you still want to take it into the playoffs or not? Because you didn't win out. He said, yeah, we might as well.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So my bold predictions were all stinkers. I said Baker Mayfield would be the best quarterback of the week. He wasn't very good, and they lost. I said that Sam Darnold would dominate, and holy shit, he got dominated.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said that the Ravens would rely heavily on the tight ends, and the tight ends were number 1 and number 2 in the passing game. Unfortunately, they only had like 100 and some passing yards because the rushing game was just so dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's at a fantasy 4-man. it was harder to find these numbers. So if they're not 100% right, blame StatMuse because Sleeper doesn't do Wildcard.
You could
Lamar
just do it
Jackson.
yourself.
I didn't feel like doing that.
Oh, okay.
Lamar Jackson had 23 points. Bo Nix had 14. I'm up 9. James Cook had 18. Josh Jacobs had 21. I'm up 6. Nico Collins had 25.
Yeah, this is where it kills me.
Puka had 10.
Yeah.
I'm up 21.
Yup, tight ends is not any better.
Dallas Goedert had 15.
He wanted you to get 5. That fucking touchdown. He wanted you to win, bro. That touchdown he had, bro. He like, go ahead, man. Continue.
I beat you by 32.
Yeah. Who was my tight end?
Pat Freiermuth.
No. I think first play was a Pat Freiermuth drop. I'm pretty sure literally the first play of the game was him dropping the ball. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he wanted to take this into the playoffs. I don't really know why. The format was going to be weird anyway when we took this into the playoffs, so I never really understood it. I was like, let's just bring it back next season, but, whatever.
So since this was your segment, since you were the one that wanted to go into the playoffs, right here and right now, we can dead it. This could be the last week of doing it. Do you want it to be the last week? Because it's going to get more complicated now.
No, we already started it where we're taking it into where we're continuing it. We're continuing it. Cut this out for next week when I lose by 50. And it's like, nah, I didn't want to do this shit. But
get into the wild card.
No. Before we get to the wild card, the overreactions made their way into the playoffs.
Bro. You literally said, "Are you recording?" So I X out of the Heat game,
and you didn't hit record.
Don't click record.
I thought I did something wrong for a second, but
did you click record?
I did.
Bro, if I was in charge of clicking record, we'd have about 4 episodes.
Yeah, no, we would. Every episode, we're 45 minutes in. Bro, I forgot to hit record again. Like, if anything ever happens to my recording, the first 45 minutes to the hour of the episode is just gone. We're going to have a 30-minute episode because you hit record with 20 minutes left.
The worst part is I have OBS pulled up every time. I just never click the button.
And yeah, today I even said, "Are you recording?" But as I was saying, the overreactions made their way into the playoffs, made their way into the wild card. The people were begging for it, so I made sure to bring it. And we can start with this one. I know you love to do a little dance and a song when I bring this up. We have a this or that for this week's overreaction. So go ahead.
Yeah. That. You know what that's from?
So the losing quarterback you are more concerned of going forward. We had Justin Herbert put on an masterclass. His first playoff appearance. He allows the Jags to come back down 27 points and blows that game. This game he throws 4 interceptions. Another quarterback in the opposite conference, Jordan Love, went out there and had himself a stinker as well. So which quarterback are you more concerned of going forward? Justin Herbert or Jordan Love?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's
and not that you think either of them are just not the guys, but just you have to pick one. Which of the two? And I'm a Justin Herbert truther, but my goodness, he was off.
These are both your guys.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, that these are still both of the guys. I just think that Justin Herbert has shown us more. And yeah, he might be the what if man, throw that cape on him, and he's a super. That'd be a terrible superhero. But Jordan Love was very bad against the Eagles because the Eagles looked terrible too. They just didn't have much competition on the other side.
Yeah.
I would say, based off of the last couple weeks, based off of specifically this wild card, I would say Jordan Love because Justin Herbert has more under his belt.
Okay.
But Justin Herbert was horrible, man.
He was bad. All right. The next one. Your Minnesota Vikings went out there on Monday Night Football and lost. Sam Darnold did not look good. He lost himself a lot of money. I've been vouching, saying Sam Darnold, you gotta give him a contract, bring him in next season. No way you allow him to go somewhere else. But JJ McCarthy should be the Vikings week 1 starter next season.
Sam Darnold between this week and last week lost himself millions and millions of dollars,
And
and it's so
having two
sad for
bad
him.
games is not the bad thing. It's when you had those two bad games. You had them in week 18 to win the division and to get the 1 seed. Then you get into the playoffs and you have another stinker. It's just poorly timed games where everybody's watching. You were the Sunday night game. No other game going on. Everybody's watching. Then you get to the playoffs. You're the Monday night game. No other game on that day. Everybody's watching. And you have your two worst performances in a Vikings uniform.
He was 12 for 12 in the first half versus his own. He's a good quarterback when he has time. He can read his reads. He can make the throws. You saw it last week, and the Lions ran cover 0 against him. You saw it this week when Jared Verse and Byron Young were getting to him.
Turner. Mm-hmm.
He just can't handle pressure very well. And if you can't handle pressure, you're not making that money. I wrote it down for when we get to that game, but I definitely think that J.J. McCarthy is their quarterback because they're not going to pay Sam Darnold after this performance. And the faith that Kevin O'Connell had in J.J. McCarthy when they drafted him, there's no reason for me to believe that he's not going to continue to mold him into what he wants him to be.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, man, it's crazy to see what 2 weeks has done to Sam Darnold. And not that Sam Darnold's not going to get any money or any offers in free agency now, but he would have been a hot commodity in free agency. Every teams that think they're a quarterback away, or maybe let's just have our bridge guy see what Sam Darnold could do, would have been after Sam Darnold. But now it's like his own team may not even be wanting to bring him back. It's like, well, shit, we got JJ now. Why do we need Sam Darnold? Why do we need to pay this guy when we have JJ on a rookie contract? So it sucks to see how the narrative has changed so quickly on Sam Darnold. But I mean, like he would have been better off just not even playing in these 2 games. Cause fuck, man, the flip has switched so quick on Sam Darnold, and it sucks that you've had a great season for 17 weeks, but 2 weeks can just change your entire story.
I always thought it was a terrible circumstance for Sam Darnold because I really didn't think that we were going to bring him back, and then 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, when he walks in the locker room and they're all spraying him with a water bottle and Kevin O'Connell just back there standing like a happy dad, it's like, man, I don't know how they're going to move on from this guy, but I don't know where else he goes because he's going to want his money. He's going to want some guaranteed money.
And rightfully
because
so. He definitely deserves a decent-sized contract, but probably not the money he was looking at in week 15 or 16.
But where does he start? That's just where does he start? Because the bad teams are going to go young. The good teams already have their guys. He's kind of in this is a bad year for him to be for him to do what he did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Let's move on. So, the Bills and Ravens play this weekend. Bills beating the Broncos. Ravens beating the Steelers. They play each other in the divisionals. Ravens heading to Buffalo. The winner of Ravens versus Bills will be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl.
What's this segment called?
Overreactions.
What'd you just give?
An overreaction. Because I think the entire world should still be picking the Chiefs.
You gave a bold prediction. You took my segment.
Oh, you think that's a bold prediction? Oh, well, that's my apologies if you take that as a bold prediction. My apologies. I'm not saying who's gonna win. I'm just saying whoever wins will be in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay, you agree. Whether I know you're a Ravens guy, you had them in the Super Bowl anyway. But even if the Bills win, you think they beat the Chiefs as well?
I think so because I'm gonna be honest. I'm going to look like an absurd casual when I say this because you absolutely hate them. Mm-hmm. And I know you say you don't hate much stuff, but every time the team comes up, you're like, ugh, not the Texans. I think the Texans can get the Chiefs to run for their money.
Hey, bro. Hey, we'll talk about it when we get there. But, man, I don't think there was anything more the Texans could have done to try and turn me around. From what I've seen from them all season and how much I've hated on them, they couldn't have done anything more than what they did this weekend to try and turn me around and think maybe they could do something. Because we'll get there. We'll get there. But I was thinking about it at work when I'm just like, man, what are we going to talk about today? I'm like, bro, the Texans really tried their best to try and say, fuck you, Hurlins. We're actually contenders. We fuck around and go beat the Chiefs next week. So I can't even hate you for that.
and he's in his second year, so like the word legacy doesn't mean much yet. But what it could do a decade down the line, saying he beat Pat Mahomes in Pat Mahomes' prime in his second year, would do it'd be crazy for C.J. Stroud. With one receiver on his team, John Mechie hadn't done anything all year. You don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. Tank Dell destroys his entire leg. We haven't did
Deontay Johnson.
Shit, did he play this week?
I think he did. I think I remember him. I think he even caught a pass. I want to say he caught a pass.
Yeah. I think that they should utilize him a little bit more because I don't know what happened in Baltimore, but he is a good receiver. So if that defense plays like that defense can,
man,
I know it's Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, but they made it easy. They made it easy for the offense.
Let me see. Yeah, Deontay Johnson caught one pass for 12 yards. Like, I don't know what's going on, bro. Like, I really don't. It didn't work in Baltimore, and now he's not really getting much of action in Houston. I don't know what's going on. But if you took last one as a bold prediction, you may take this one as a bold prediction as well. Sorry, I'm stealing your segment. One of the Lions or Eagles will not be in the NFC Championship game. Lions will be playing the Commanders. Eagles will be playing the Rams. One of those teams will not be in the NFC Championship game.
I think it's easier to say no because it's a 50-50 or maybe it's a 25% chance that happens. I don't know. I'm not good with percentages, but I think that the Washington Commanders can compete with anybody, but this year's Detroit team is just on a different level. Dan Campbell has that team playing absolutely absurd, and their assisting coaches aren't going to get much better. They have a lot of talent on that roster, so I think that Detroit beats Washington no matter what happens in that game.
Okay. And last one,
However,
sorry.
There's two sides of that question.
Sorry, I apologize. It sounded like
I think the Rams can't beat the Eagles.
Absolutely. And the Eagles won this weekend, but it wasn't good. It was like you said.
They were bad.
It was more so the Packers just being worse than what the Eagles were, not the Eagles being better. But yeah.
Plus they lose to Nakobe Dean. They lost their one safety, Darius Slay, for a little bit, so he might be banged up, but who knows? Go ahead.
All right, last one. Not really an overreaction. Just sorry, I'll just come with one next week. But not really an overreaction. I just want to see what your thoughts. Do we need 7 playoff teams? The 7th seed is 1-9 since they've made it 7 playoff teams in each conference. It used to be 6 teams. The 1 and the 2 seed got the bye. Now it's 7. Only the 1st seed gets the bye, and the 7th seed is 1-9 in those in their wild card games. Do you think we need 7 playoff teams, or should it go back to 6?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I fucking despise these conversations. Like the college football comes. Oh, why are we back to 12? Why are we at 12 teams? The bottom seeds didn't even put up a competition. Ohio State is number 8, and I guarantee you they're the favorite to win the national championship. Oh, you get to the NFL, and the Rams just beat a 14-win team as the 7th seed. I saw the conversation where the 1 and 2 should get the bye, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe you get a little bit better for the first round of the playoffs, just viewing wise.
That's the argument. Yeah, that's what I was seeing.
But you don't get Commanders Buccaneers that way. It would have been who was 2? Eagles. You would have been Eagles in Washington first round.
Yeah, because the argument I was seeing was they'd rather have a good team miss it than a bad team get in, and we have to watch the fucking Broncos get throttled by the Bills or some shit like that. So they'd rather a good team miss the playoffs than a not so good team sneak in.
I disagree wholeheartedly. Why am I going to complain about extra sports? The Miami Heat made the finals as an 8 seed, bro. An 8 seed. It's possible. Yeah, it's not probable, but Cinderella runs have been always a part of sports. So why change it now? I like 7 seeds.
All right. That's all I got for this week's Wildcard Overreactions. We can get into our wildcard
weak ass quarterback. Let's talk about him.
we can get into our wild card not overreactions, our wild card review, starting with the first game. The Chargers headed to Houston to play the Texans, and the Texans whooped ass. Beat the Chargers 32-12. It looked like it was going to be ugly for the Texans early, but then CJ Stroud turned it around. He's grabbing fumbles off the ground and throwing it downfield. Justin Herbert decided to throw 4 interceptions, and Ladd McConkey was the only guy that decided to show up for the Chargers. Go ahead, man. This hurt me.
Did you watch any of the Nickelodeon broadcast?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Bro,
I saw it was like Nate Burleson, SpongeBob, and Patrick. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this shit.
I would never go out of my way to watch it, but the clips that people be having on Twitter and stuff, it kills me every time. Bubble Bass walking into the stadium and sitting down and SpongeBob going,
watching that shit. Like, I'm just not watching that shit, man. Like, let's be serious. Like, when the NBA did that fucking Mickey Mouse and Goofy shit on Christmas, I'm like, I'm not watching this shit. Like, no.
Oh, Larry Nance had himself as Patrick dunking as his profile picture for like years.
Yeah, that like Bleacher Report thing when they like did that random. It was so random. They just had him turning into Patrick and dunking. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I think it's hilarious, but the Chargers were. Oh man, I hadn't done it yet. I hadn't said. The Chargers were outscored 32-6 after the Dirty Bubble kidnapped Jim Harbaugh.
Oh my gosh. Please don't bring the fucking Nickelodeon broadcast into this, bro. Just talk about this fucking game. Talking about when the Dirty Bubble. I don't even know what you're talking about. The Dirty Bubble kidnapped Jim Harbaugh. Like, what are we talking about?
Hey Kevin, bro, I'm so sorry that your team had to go out like
bro,
this.
I was just on Xbox on Madden, like I think last night or the night before, and I just seen Kevin online because I'll do it to you too. I'll see one of you guys online. I'll randomly just send a fucking random message, just hey, or just so I sent Kevin a heart, and in his mind he's probably like, oh, Herlin's sending me a heart, condolences for my team losing, and he's like, yeah, I know we suck, and I was like, oh shit, he's a Chargers fan. I completely forgot. So yeah, man, Kev, I'm sorry, man. I'm a Justin Herbert guy. I was rooting for you guys. I was bolt up with you, but I'm so sorry, man. But he was like, yeah, it doesn't even matter. I expected this, so I'm sorry, Kev.
My mom asked me, why aren't you rooting for the Texans? Because CJ Stroud, Ohio State guy, we all love him. Mm-hmm. I said, well, the Chargers have a bunch of Buckeyes too. They got Ezekiel Elliott on their team. Her immediate thought is, well, why doesn't he play?
Cause he's ass. Mama 325, he's ass. He's ass. He's ass.
I said, Mom, he's not very good anymore.
No,
she goes,
not.
Oh, well, J.K. Dobbins plays a lot. I said, yeah, absolutely. And Joey Bosa on the other side, but they got their asses whooped. Ladd McConkey's 197 receiving yards are the third most in the playoff debut in NFL history.
2?
Quentin Johnston. I know Calvin Johnson was one of them.
And I think Andre Johnson's the other.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thought it was Julio.
It might be Julio, but I thought it was Andre Johnson.
It could be. I know they all were from Georgia.
Is Andre Johnson from Georgia?
No idea.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
Only reason I know that is because I saw someone quote tweet it and was like, what do these three guys all have in common? And I'm looking and I can't figure it out for the life of me. And they just glaze in the state of Georgia. Justin Herbert threw more interceptions this one game than he did the entire regular season. He threw 4 this game, 3 in the regular season. His first one,
Andre Johnson went to Miami.
So, why did you look up that instead of just saying who were the top 3?
Sorry.
First interception, he drops back, he rolls right, and then throws it crossbody all the way left to a jump ball, Quentin Johnston.
First of all, Justin Herbert, it was a bad throw, but what kind of fucking play call was that? What kind of play call was that? Justin Herbert, it's an inexcusable throw. You're running to the right sideline and you throw it all the way crossbody left. It's a terrible throw, but an even egregious fucking play call. I don't know what the idea was there. Sorry to cut you off.
Ladd McConkey is just running a streak to get the people out of the way. I don't know why Quentin Johnston, he started to come right a little bit and then he breaks back out left. I will say Darius Davis was like 5 yards away from Justin Herbert, just wide open. Mm-hmm. But throwing a jump ball to Quentin Johnston is one of the craziest things I've ever seen because he came into the league people knowing he didn't have the greatest hands in the world. So that was just an immediate interception.
Mhm.
He then, the second interception, he throws about 7 foot too high to Lad McConkey, picked off, return for 6. Very next drive, he throws it to Will Dissly, bounces off of Will Dissly's hands.
Got it. It was Calvin Johnson and Demaryius Thomas.
It was Demaryius Thomas. Rest in peace.
All right, absolutely.
And then his last one, he tried to throw a deep ball to DJ Chark, and Derek Stingley's just the best corner in all of football. So
he was so good.
Your favorite, one of your favorite quarterbacks this offseason. One of my all-time least favorite quarterbacks. My all-time least favorite quarterback.
I have no who. Am I a bad friend for that? Your all-time least favorite quarterback? You sat up, so I must be a bad friend. Your least favorite quarterback?
That white dude.
Aaron Rodgers?
Holy shit, Herlins. Kirk Cousins already has been passed in playoff wins by C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud gets his second playoff win.
Why the fuck are we bringing up Kirk Cousins here? Like, you such a hater.
No, that's just a crazy stat. Like he has more playoff wins than Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence. There's just so many guys. He has the same amount as Dak Prescott already.
Yeah, he's it's like he's one of 6 quarterbacks to win a playoff game in their first 2 seasons. I forget who it is. I know it's him, Joe Flacco, Mark Sanchez, Russell Wilson, Brock Purdy, and someone else is in there. One other person is in there, and then C.J. Stroud.
Crazy. CJ, I love you. Keep rolling. Beat them frauds over in Kansas City. And then go into Baltimore. And
get your ass whooped.
And I don't care what happens. I won't root for either side.
Okay. But yeah, man.
You'll get your ass whooped.
I'm a Justin Herbert truther, but he was god-awful in this game. And it started off good for the Chargers. It looked like, they're about to run away with this game. Because even their second field goal, I think it looked like they could have gotten in and punched it in for a touchdown. But they just ended up kicking 3. And then it was just downhill from there. I talked about C.J. Stroud fumbling it, then picking it back up. And C.J. Stroud just turned it around and started balling because Justin Herbert had an interception, or it might have been the other way around. One of them threw an interception, and then I think it was C.J. Stroud was like, no, it was C.J. threw one. Then Justin Herbert was like, no, you have it right back. And that's where it started just spiraling out of control for the Chargers. And I said it, maybe midway through the season, that the Chargers needed as I know Justin Herbert is talented, but I don't know how much he can carry this team with the lack of weapons. That their lack of weapons is going to come to show. I think it was when J.K. Dobbins got hurt. I think that's when I said it. And yes, Lad McConkey, for as good as he is, he had 7 for 197, broke off that 87-yard touchdown. That Justin Herbert needed some help because other than Lad McConkey, who had 9 receptions, the next highest was 2 with Will Dissly for 16 yards. And we saw that drop, or it was kind of an overthrow from Justin Herbert, but also a drop, the one that Will Dissly should catch, that got intercepted. It was 5 players that caught a ball, and Lad McConkey had more than them combined. So Justin Herbert, the Chargers have to go out this offseason and get Justin Herbert some more reliable weapons. Because one week is Quentin Johnson looks like, okay, this guy could actually be pretty decent. Next week he's back to looking like he shouldn't be on a football field. Will Dissly, Justin Herbert, we propped him. We talked about how Justin Herbert had Will Dissly looking pretty good early in the season. But when it comes down to it, Will Dissly's not that good of a tight end. Maybe he's a serviceable tight end, but he's not your go-to tight end. So they need some weapons over there. And when that running game isn't working against a defense like the Texans, they shut that running game down. When it's not working, Justin Herbert needs some reliable weapons that he can go to. And if it's not number 15, he did not have that on Saturday. But I talked about it with the Texans. They could not do a better job at trying to convince me that they can actually do something in the playoffs than what they did on Saturday, bro. That defense was all over the place. Whether it was the pass rush getting to Justin Herbert, Will Anderson, Derek Stingley in the secondary, Aziz, whether it was Daniil Hunter. It felt like everybody on that defense was just making plays when it mattered. D'Amico Ryans had them ready to go, and they came out and balled, man. So shout out to the Texans. Who knows? Maybe he can pull off the upset in Arrowhead next weekend. But this is a really disappointing loss for the Chargers. And you texted me, I think it was, he was like, this is what Jim came over here for. And it's like, no way the Chargers charge her again, right? And the Chargers charging isn't just, oh, they lost the game. It's the fashion you lose. Justin Herbert goes out there and throws 4 interceptions. You get blown out by the Texans, who haven't looked like a very good team all season. A game you're favored in. You're going on the road, but you're favored to win this game, and you come out and lay an egg like this. Man, bro, this is a really disappointing loss, especially for me being a Justin Herbert guy. Shout out to the Texans. Shout out to you, CJ Stroud. You guys got it done, and yeah.
If this is the last time we ever see Khalil Mack,
Yep.
you had a hell of a career, man.
Absolutely.
And Joe Mixon, yo ass is crazy for being on a Nickelodeon broadcast.
Were you listening to this? Were you only watching the Nickelodeon broadcast?
No, I didn't watch any of the Nickelodeon broadcast.
Like they made it such an emphasis. It was Ian Eagle and I forget who else, Charles Davis maybe. And they were making such an emphasis to say Khalil Mack. They're like, yeah, I talked to him pregame, and they're like, it's Khalil Mack, not Khalil Mack. They're making such an emphasis on it. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, we can move on. Chargers disappoint again. I'm sorry, Kev. Shout out to the Texans. We'll be seeing you guys in the next round. But we can move on to the second of the Saturday playoff games. We had the Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Baltimore to play the Ravens, and the Ravens whooped ass.
What happened in this game? What happened?
And can I talk about the Steelers for a second? We talked about it, I think, last episode or a couple episodes ago. How it's like, how long can the Steelers just sit in this purgatory? And not to bring that conversation back and let's have another 20-minute conversation, but I just need to say this. This is exactly what I meant. Nobody, not a single person, even Steeler fans, came into this game thinking the Steelers had a legit chance of winning this game. And what do you know? The game starts and the Ravens are putting belt to ass. The Steelers tried to make it interesting in the second half, but no one ever thought, oh shit, here they come. It's about to be a comeback. This game's gonna get interesting. They even brought it up on the broadcast, even when they got blown out to the fucking to Baker Mayfield and the Browns when they were in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm sorry. They came back and made it interesting, but they brought it up, and I was like, nah, that shit ain't happening this time. You knew they weren't gonna make this a game, and this is, like I said, this is just what I meant. It's like, how many times are we gonna go on with the Steelers into the playoffs and be like, yeah, they're not winning the fucking game. Yeah, they're not winning this game. Yeah, no one's taking them serious. How much more can we take of that before it's like, all right, enough is enough? And this is I just wanted to bring that up just because this is a prime example of what I meant. Like, no one took this team serious whatsoever.
I haven't taken them serious since they benched Justin Fields.
It's just ridiculous. It's like, I get it. There's value in being a good team, but it's like, let's not bring this back up. It's like, how long are you just okay with how long are you okay with just getting bounced in round one, just not being able to compete with these good teams? I get it. You're a solid team in the regular season, but it's every year in and year out. They haven't won a playoff game. They're 0-6, I think, in their last 6 playoff games. That is terrible. That's terrible. You get to the playoffs. Yeah, you get there, but then you're sent right back home once you get there. It's like, when are we going to make a deep run? When are we going to win a playoff game? Let's get to the actual game, though. But in this game, the Steelers came in with a game plan. They made it an emphasis. They said, let Lamar do his thing on the ground. We're going to try to contain Derrick Henry. And Lamar Jackson said, bet, watch this. And he went out there and ran all over the place on the Steelers. That game plan did not work whatsoever. Derrick Henry had 26 rushes for 186, so they didn't even do a great job of containing Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson had 15 rushes for 81. So they didn't do a great job at containing Lamar Jackson. It's like, no matter what their game plan was coming into this game, it did not work. Derrick Henry did whatever he wanted. Lamar Jackson did whatever he wanted. You talked about the 2 tight ends doing their thing. They led the team in targets and in receptions and yards, but it wasn't too much of a passing game. The Ravens, I think at a certain point, it was like 13 straight rushes. They drove down the field, all rushes to score a touchdown. They were doing that whatever they wanted on the ground. The Steelers defense could not do anything to stop them. And this is really what I expected from this team. So I don't have much to say here in this game. I expected the Ravens to put belt to ass, and that's exactly what they did, with probably the best backfield in the league.
The Ravens don't normally wear a captain patch on their jerseys, but they had them for this game. And I hope that they wear them going forward, because I think it's just cool to have on your jerseys, and they looked hard. So keep that up. Roger Rosengarten had that viral clip last week with Myles Garrett, and he was like, "I know I'm a nobody, but can I get that jersey?" And he's one of the best rookies in the entire league, not just offensive line, but he has been phenomenal. And he helps lead TJ Watt to having 0 stats this week. And I know that they ran the ball a lot, and specifically away from TJ, but when they did pass the ball, he did a great job there too. Roquan gave a pep talk before the game, and it was like Ray Lewis-esque. He was just hype as hell. And then I don't know if you saw, but Ray Lewis made his little entrance,
his little dance.
Same thing he always does. Yeah. Like you said, nobody really expected the Steelers to do anything in this game. The Ravens are a powerhouse, and it's going to be hard for Buffalo to beat them, even if it's in Buffalo.
It's going to be hard for the Ravens to beat Buffalo, too. What? It's going to be hard for the Ravens to beat Buffalo, too. Josh Allen went out there and put belts. Bro, how many bets are we gonna fucking make? Holy shit, sorry if I just destroyed you guys' ears. But how many bets are we gonna make, dog? Put your fucking hand down. I'm not making.
You can always say no.
I'm not making any more bets. I still owe you I gotta wait to see what happens if the Chiefs and Ravens play each other, because that will decide whether I owe you fucking like $40 or whether we still have that we still have that bet.
No, I know that one. I owe Ant $10. I bet him on the game tonight.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, anything else you wanted to say about the Ravens?
You know, I love my egotistical receivers. Their quotes. Malik Neighbors was quote of the week most of the weeks. George Pickens, the reporter. She's like, I know you guys have gone through a lot. Did you see any growth in the offense? And he said, yeah, of course, I saw a lot of growth in the offense. She continues to go, does that make you optimistic going forward? And he sits there for a second and just goes, nah.
Really?
All he said.
See that.
He just hits her with a nah. Not optimistic at all.
Wow.
Lamar Jackson got all-pro first team.
Which probably means he'll win the MVP, because it's the same people that vote for all-pro that vote for the awards at the end of the season. So probably means Lamar Jackson's locked up the MVP award.
That's why I was bringing it up.
Roquan Smith making first team all-pro was bogus as hell, by the way.
He wasn't very good. Broncos go into Buffalo and get belt to ass.
These wildcard games weren't good, bro.
We got one good game, and it was 6v3. 4v5? 6v3, because Vikings were 5. Bo Nix drives him down the field, heaves it up to Troy Franklin on their first drive for a touchdown.
And it's like, hold up. Are the Broncos about to do this? Yeah.
They don't score another point the entire game. Not a field goal, not a safety, nothing. Final score ends up 31-7. James Cook, you could have given him the ball 47 times and it would have been successful every time. He did whatever he wanted.
And a lot of this was in the first half too, because they didn't really get him involved in the second half. So a lot of what he did was in the first half, and they just didn't even need him the rest of the game.
Yeah, they were using Ty Johnson a lot, and prayers up to Ray Davis. He landed on his neck or head pretty hard and I don't know if he got stretchered out or anything. They didn't really show it, but I don't know what's going on with him. But
Josh Allen vouches for Ty Johnson. He even said in the post game interview, he was like, Ty Johnson's the best third down running back in the league. So he vouches. He loves Ty Johnson.
Bo ended up not being very good throughout the entire game. He had that first good drive, but I don't know if it's more so him or that Buffalo's defense was just very good. DeMar Hamlin got that interception, and then it ended up not being an interception, but he was sitting over on that bench like, what? I caught it. And we talked about it all year. Bo Nix had to be even better than what he needed to be because they don't have a rushing game. But this game starts and Javonte Williams looks good. And they just stopped giving him the ball. They stopped running it completely, and I don't understand why. You're not going to win that way ever in the playoff game.
Yeah, man. I said it in the preview for this game. It's like Denver. You had a good season. It was fun. Bo Nix was a nice little story. Nobody expected this. Nobody expected you guys to make the playoffs, be as competitive as you were. But you're running into a team. That's just way out of your league. You guys just can't, hold a candle to them. So this is exactly what it was. But like I said in the beginning of this game, Broncos go down and score right away. They have that fake punt or whatever, and it's like, holy shit, Broncos are coming to play. Are they about to do something, make this game interesting? Maybe not win, but it's gonna go down to the wire. Josh Allen gonna have to pull out some heroics to win this game. And then, yeah, Josh Allen just said enough of that. James Cook said enough of that, and they just locked in and won this game. Like you talked about the running game. We talked about this early in the season with the Broncos. You have a rookie quarterback. He's going to need a running game he can rely on. But Bo Nix did what he tried to do what he could. Even I think later in the game, he had that big run. Was it an 80-yard run?
He had a couple of them late, yeah.
Yeah, and he broke out a couple. He was their best rusher throughout the entire game. So shout out to Bo Nix. Shout out to the Broncos. Sean Payton, you did a great job this season, but no one really expected you guys to win this game. Buffalo did what they were supposed to do.
The commentators said they're like top 3 in the league in dead cap money, and when that's the case,
exactly,
you just never really make the playoffs.
You're usually a bad team, but for them to win 10 games this season, be as competitive as they were, Sean Payton, you did a great job. So shout out to the Broncos, but the Bills, like what's going on? Like, do you guys just not need Amari Cooper? Like, you guys traded for him, and it's like, Josh Allen, you just don't need him? Are you guys just gonna continue to win games without him? Like, Curtis Samuel has the most receptions on this team. Khalil Shakur has the most receiving yards. Khalil Shakur has the most receptions. It's like, Amari Cooper is not needed on this team, and somehow the Bills just continue to win games off of Josh Allen and James Cook. But, yeah, we can move on.
When Curtis Samuel caught that ball and he started taking off, I was screaming at that television, bro.
I've said it a few times. Josh Allen rolling out of the pocket and making a play downfield, rolling out right, might be the best I've ever seen. If it was like any time he rolls out right, he's falling out of bounds, he's gonna make something happen. He's not throwing it away, he's throwing it downfield. And also that touchdown pass he threw to who was it that caught it? Who was it that caught it? It was Ty Johnson, where he like kept his foot up in the back of the end zone, kept his leg up. Yeah. It was beautiful, a beautiful catch, a beautiful throw, beautiful catch, man. Shout out to Josh Allen and the Bills, man. You got a big game next Sunday against the Ravens, so good luck to you guys. But Broncos, we'll be seeing you. Shout outs to you, Dev. Moving on.
Curtis Samuel, go out there and have 100 yards against Baltimore. Unfortunately, y'all are gonna have to lose.
Moving on.
Love you, Kurt.
To the Packers heading to Philadelphia and losing to the Eagles 22-10. We talked a little bit about this in the overreactions, but I'll start here. And I've said this. You called me the Packers. When it came to the Texans and the Packers, it's like, oh, here he go hating. But it wasn't me hating. It was just me being real. Let me read you off some stats. So the Packers, all season I've been saying there were 3 teams ahead of them at least. In the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Lions. They played the Eagles in the wild card. That made them 0-6 against those 3 teams this season. 0-6. Jordan Love's stats in those games. Obviously, I said he's 0-6. He has a completion percentage of 58.6. He's 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And a lot of those touchdowns were on that fake-ass comeback they had against the Vikings. So Jordan Love was not good at all when it came to playing the top competition in his conference. And I've been saying it all season. The Packers just aren't in their league. Jordan Love hasn't thrown over 230 passing yards since Thanksgiving. He has not been good, and he wasn't good on Sunday. And I talked about it. It's like the Packers' formula of winning was, let's get Josh Jacobs going early, and Jordan Love just don't lose us the game. Well, boy, Jordan Love lost you that fucking game when you needed him. He just was not accurate. He was making bad decisions like we saw from Jordan Love earlier in the season, to where it seems like at times he's just forcing things. He's like, you know what? I have the talent. I have the arm angles, the arm strength to make this throw. So fuck it. I'm going to try it. He had a really bad interception over the middle, to it's like, well, Jordan Love, what'd you see there? And I forget who. What's that? Zach Bond. It was that. Okay, it was that one. Yes, to Zach Bond.
To Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, it's just some questionable decisions from Jordan Love at times, and it's like, man, for as good as you were talked up to being, and as good as I know you can be, the decision making at times just is not there. But on the other side, Jalen Hurts, he won this game, but AJ Brown in that press conference a couple of months ago said, what's the problem with this offense? He said the passing. And boy, did that come back into effect in this game, because Jalen Hurts, like I said, you won, but you were not good in this game either. I think he started off pretty solid, but then it was rocky the rest of the game. But like we said in the overreactions, the Eagles didn't have to be very good because the Packers were just worse. Jalen Hurts was not very accurate in this game. We talked about it. We said it was going to have to be Saquon Barkley in this game, and that's what it was. The Eagles' defensive line made it so tough for the Packers, especially with all the injuries they had. They had like two people get injured on the offensive line, I think, in this game. They had, Romeo Doubs get hurt in this game. Jaden Reed got hurt in this game as well. It felt like it was just injury after injury after injury for the Packers. So you were already undermanned coming into this game, and you were out-talented by the Eagles, and then to lose your key players in this game didn't help. But it was not a great showing from either team in this game. So if I'm an Eagles fan or the Eagles, I'm a little bit worried with the Rams coming to town next week, especially what the Rams did to the Vikings. If you get the good version of Matthew Stafford next week, boy, it's going to be a problem. It will be a problem if you're the Eagles. So yeah, man, hope you just got to rely on Saquon Barkley and make it to where Jalen Hurts can't lose you the game. Don't even give it the chance to lose you the game.
The Packers fumbled the opening kick of this
which
game.
was some bullshit, by the way. They recovered it. If you ask me. But hey, the refs called what they called, but they recovered it. Not to say the Packers would have won, but they recovered that ball.
And that just started such a bad momentum for the Packers. It was just kind of downhill from there. Nakobe Dean got carted off pretty early in this game. He tore his patellar tendon. He's out for the rest of the playoffs, which sucks for them because he's had a very good season. You mentioned it during the Fantasy 4-man. Dallas Goedert catches that ball on the left sideline, and he literally stiff-arms Carrington Valentine the whole way to the end zone, man. Just telling him, get the fuck, like you said, crazy. And then the silliness regarding AJ Brown on the bench reading his book. You see any of that?
Yeah, I did. I didn't put too much into it.
The newscasters are opening the morning news, reading it, like not saying anything, just acting like nothing's going on. He said he takes it to every game.
Apparently he's done this all season.
Jalen Hurts goes to his press conference and says he's never seen AJ Brown read it before.
It seems like the vibes have just completely switched again for the Eagles, and I hope that's not the case. But it seems like they can't just keep the good vibes, right? It's like once it looks like everybody's all friends, it's kumbaya, something happens to where it's like it throws everything off the rails again. But I will say it was a self-help book. It's not like he was fucking on the sideline reading Cat in the Hat or some shit, reading some random book. Like he was reading a self-help book. So maybe he just was reading it to get his mind right, to put him at ease or something. It's not
That's
like
literally what he said.
It's not like he was on some bullshit reading some fucking fiction book, just reading just to get.
He's reading the third Maze Trials,
some Harry Potter or something. He was reading a self-help book. So I'm not putting too much into it.
Man, what's Harry doing in this one?
Like exactly.
Wow. We can move on though.
All right, moving on to probably the best game of Wildcard weekend. We had the Washington Commanders go into Tampa. Definitely the best game of Wildcard weekend. We had the Washington Commanders go into Tampa Bay and beat the Bucs 23-20. Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback, winning a game on the road in his first career playoff start. Go ahead.
A 21-year-old human being. This could be the first time in their lives that the Commanders won a playoff game. Isn't that crazy?
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Jaden Daniels comes into a franchise, his first year, to a team that's not very good, and immediately makes them a playoff team. And yeah, they upgraded the team a lot. Bobby Wagner's been great. The time Austin Eckler gets to play, he's been great. I was a Bobby Wagner
and Austin Eckler. I was haters of both of them. And they've been... Austin Eckler
not
was
of
really,
them, but the pickups.
And Austin Eckler was pretty... The stats won't say it, like he had a phenomenal game. But I felt like Austin Eckler was clutch in this game. He picked up first downs when they needed it. He had that nice catch and run. It was on the left side. I forget at what point in the game, but he took that for a first down. So shout out to Austin Eckler.
Zach Ertz has been very good for them in his old age. Mm-hmm. And when they played the Eagles, Darius Slay was mic'd up. He was like, "Hey man, City of Philly loves you. We miss you." Yeah. And he's like, "I love y'all too." And I texted you at one point. It was the touchdown to tie the game. Terry McLaurin, his clutch ability is just not talked about enough. He hasn't had a quarterback his whole career. He finally gets one that has him relevant, and he has been amazing this year, man. Anytime they get to that red zone, just throw it in his direction, and he will come down with it. I think he's pretty easily top 10 in the whole National Football League, and I love to see that for the former Buckeye. Jaden Daniels is the first quarterback since Peyton Manning in 2003 to be the away team and not turn the ball over or punt a single time. He's just incredible. He
is so clutch, bro. I think that was his 5th game-winning drive this season, if we're including the playoffs. For him to be a rookie and be so calm, cool, and collected and just be as clutch as he is. We saw the clip a few weeks back where it's like Marcus Mariota's like, get up and get your air and take us down and win this game. And that's exactly what he did. I think it was against the Eagles. For him to be as clutch as he is, as young as he is, on the road in your first playoff start, and it just doesn't phase him. He just drives them right down the field to go win. It's insane, bro. It is,
and he couldn't have a better vet, man. Marcus Mariota is the perfect backup quarterback for him.
Absolutely.
A donked field goal to win this. Bro, such an amazing game.
This season, I feel like we've seen a few doink winners this season. It's kind of weird.
It irritates the hell out of me. And after the game, it's going viral of Zane Gonzalez. That's his name, right? The kicker.
Yeah.
Of him doing his hair over and over again, and like. He's clearly that's his tick. He has OCD and he's talked about it a bunch of times, and people are still just too blind to realize it. It's sad, but Tom Brady next week will be calling the Commanders versus the Lions. He's calling the game that Ben Johnson is coaching, while Ben Johnson is currently the hottest name for the team that he owns.
It's weird. I seen somebody make a tweet about it. It's like, give Greg Olsen his job back and Tom Brady just go be an owner. And to an extent, it's like, bro, yes. It's like, Tom, bro, go be the fucking owner of the Raiders if you want to own this team and you want to be part of the decisions. Because if you don't want to be part of the decision makings, that's one thing. Go ahead and call the games if you don't want to be part of, any of the decisions they make. Who's the head coach? Who's the GM over there? But if you want to be so involved in the team, you're making a case for Ben Johnson to be the guy. You want him to be the Raiders guy. Just go put your time and effort into that. Greg Olsen, but me and you both talked about how we loved him and Kevin Burkhardt together. I loved listening to them so much. I love Greg Olsen and Kevin. So both of them together is just a match made in heaven. So I was pissed, not pissed because I just hated Tom Brady, but that they took away Greg Olsen. So it's like, Tom, if you want to go be an owner, and we'll gladly take Greg Olsen back. And it's not because I just hate listening to Brady. It's like, dog, just go be that owner and we'll take Greg back.
You know the picture of Barack Obama putting the medal on the other Barack Obama, like the edited picture?
Mm-mm.
You know the picture. You just don't know it off the top of your head. But
okay.
I saw a meme, and it was like, owner Brady, commentator Brady talking about owner Brady hiring Coach Brady to coach player Brady.
It's ridiculous. it's ridiculous. It's like, Brady, pick one.
He don't have to. He's the greatest of all time.
I guess not.
The Lombardi is going to be the Tom Brady trophy.
But when Zane Gonzalez hit that field goal and it cuts to Baker Mayfield, it cuts to Mike Evans. It was so heartbreaking, man. Baker Mayfield, you had a phenomenal season, dog. I can't put any of this on you. Even when you lost your top 3 targets, you were still out there balling. Mike Evans, you got your 1K this season. You were still able to do what you wanted to do, and you had your way with Marshawn Lattimore in this game. Baker Mayfield just kept on giving it to Mike Evans, and Mike Evans kept on doing his thing with Marshawn Lattimore on him. Bucky Irvin, you guys got something there, and Bucky Irvin, hopefully he's probably your running back one for the next however so many years. Rachaad White, I know you're a Rachaad White guy. We'll be seeing you. It's Bucky Irvin's backfield. For a team that I thought could be, that could beat anybody in the NFC on any given game, they just beat themselves in this game. The fumble on the handoff. Then you had the center say he snapped it too early. I think it was just miscommunication there. So it sucks to see this is how they lost. But this is not to take anything away from the Commanders. I think this is more so just Jaden Daniels being as special as he is than the Commanders doing anything and losing this game or not being as good as we thought they were. I think it's just Jaden Daniels may be better than what we thought because he is something something different.
He's special.
Absolutely.
He's very special.
Absolutely.
Waiting all day for.
I haven't said it. We haven't done it in a while. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks. But moving on, man, I will let you take the floor. The Minnesota Vikings headed to Arizona to play the Los Angeles Rams. And boy, the Rams put belt to ass and beat the Vikings again this season. The Vikings went 14-3 to be first round exits. Go ahead, man. Talk about
the commentator said that the fan base of this game was like 51% Vikings fans, and you could hear it every time the Rams had the ball. It was loud. Matthew Stafford came out dealing, dude. He was
wheeling
firing
and dealing, bro. He came out ready to go.
Kyron Williams ran the ball once and got 1 yard, and then it was like another pass, another pass, another pass. They go down the field. They
Tyler
score.
Higbee were playing catch with each other to start that game.
Tyler Higbee was great, bro. Sam Darnold gets the ball and looks terrified. It's like if he's playing Madden against a team that's way better than him. All his lines are squiggly.
I see the tweet. Literally, they were like, Sam Darnold has the squiggly lines. You know, when you play college football and the meter, you're on the road, the meter is filled. He has question marks above his receivers. Their icons are question marks. Sam Darnold looked rattled from the jump.
Yes. And we talked about him overthrowing a lot of passes, but this game, he did that a little bit. His main issue was he just held the ball like he had the greatest line of all time, bro.
Too long, man. It's like, yes, some of those sacks were on the offensive line and the Rams defensive line just getting there quick. But the other half was Sam Darnold get rid of the ball and it'll flip to Kevin O'Connell and he's like, oh my goodness, Sam, like what's going on? He just did not want to get rid of it. I think they showed one specifically where it was like he had Jalen Naylor running like across the field and he had him. It looked like he had him. But Sam Darnold's he's just continued to shuffle left and holding on to the ball, and eventually the Rams get there and sack him. And it's like, Sam, you got to throw this ball away or throw it to Jalen Naylor. You have to get rid of the ball. It just, at times he just felt indecisive, kind of like scared to where he didn't want to mess up, but it's like he held on to the ball, which was him messing up anyway. But I guess he didn't want to have the interception or the bad throw or the bad decision making. So he just held on to the ball and was just kind of maybe overthinking it. It's like he kind of knew like this game, whether I win or lose and how I play in this game will dictate my future a lot. And my next contract is dependent on how I play in this game. And it felt like he knew that from the jump, and he just had the jitters all the way through, and he just never got past that.
Byron Young started this game and was phenomenal. Jared Verse has been phenomenal all season. Like you said, Sam he struggled very heavily. One of his sacks, they run a screen for Justin Jefferson, and you got TJ Hawkinson and Jalen Naylor out in front of you blocking, and instead he's looking to the right side of the field when the screen is on the left. It's like, Sam, what are you doing? What is going on here? Stephon Gilmore has been great for them.
He was seeing them again. He saw them tonight. Those ghosts were there. They were there tonight. They were there.
Stephon Gilmore has been great for them all season. I don't really understand why he's been bouncing around from team to team these last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
There was a drive in the first half of this game where I went through about every emotion that a human could have. Because they get a scoop and score, right? They call it back. Should have been intentional grounding if it's a pass.
Matthew Stafford just like kind of just dumps it off, yeah.
They say it's not intentional grounding because I think they said Puka was in the area.
Some bullshit.
They hold them to a punt. They punt the ball away. The Vikings don't do anything with the ball. They punt it away. Roughing the kicker, so we get another chance, and it's like, please punch it in the end zone, make it 10-10. And then Sam throws a pick like right after. And it's like, dude, I don't really understand what you're doing. And then it gets announced that Higbee is doubtful to return because he's having a chest injury, and I think we have a chance because Higbee
was balling, yeah. Like you look at his final numbers, and it was 5 for 58, but that was all in Matthew Stafford's like first 10 passes. Like Tyler Higbee had it going early.
Sam got sacked 9 times in this game. One of them he got sacked fumbled the ball away. Jared Verse scoops it and scores.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford was cool in this game, but he didn't have to do anything because Sam literally just lost him the ball, and it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
But the Rams, they just draft so well that we saw them for years just trade away all their first round picks to get
They
talent.
haven't had
and
a first round pick, but prior to last season since 2016.
And that's nuts. And the first time they get that first round pick, they draft not a generational talent, but damn near about the closest thing you could get because Jared Verse is a monster.
They've drafted so well on the defense. As well as their defense is played. They said it on the broadcast. This is the cheapest defense in the NFL, and they're playing this well. And they were talking about it as well. This is a bend, don't break defense. If you look at their numbers, it's like, oh, they're kind of pedestrian, but it's like they're not going to give up that touchdown. Or it's like you'll get all these yards on them, but then they're going to make a play like Akello Witherspoon did when he forced the fumble, former Niner, by the way, and then Jared Verse takes it to the crib. Or Kobe Turner picking off Sam Darnold. They'll allow up all these yards, but like they said on the broadcast, they bend but don't break.
7 players in this game had at least half a sack. That's the first time since 1982.
They were all over him.
They were all over Sam, and they didn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really hope it's not his last game. But if this is the last time we ever see Harrison Smith, hell of a career. One of the greatest Vikings of all time.
And I talked about Sean McVay and how Brian Flores coming into this game would have to do something different because Sean McVay would come ready for that pressure. And I talked about how they always did it with the Niners. Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay will cook it up to where they're getting that ball out quick because he did it with Jared Goff as well. You saw it in this game. Matthew Stafford just got that ball out quick. So I said it. Sean McVay was going to be ready for that. And I would have loved to see Brian Flores come with something different, shock Sean McVay in some way, throw him off his gear store. Now he has to adjust to you adjusting. But you didn't really see that in this game. Sean McVay was prepared for that all-out rush, and you saw them pick it apart early. And like you said, Matthew Stafford didn't have to do anything amazing because what he did in the beginning of this game was more than enough to keep them afloat the rest of the way because the Vikings just couldn't get it together.
And Brian Flores did try to change it up a little bit. He switched to some 5-man rushes instead of a 6 or 7 and bring more people back. But Matthew Stafford was just picking them apart.
Yeah,
Anthony,
man.
I don't even know if you watch anymore, but if you're watching this, you an asshole. Fuck you.
Rams house, baby.
That's all I got to say. So that's all I got to say for the wild card. We now have Detroit and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Eagles and the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get the Detroit Eagles matchup, but we'll talk about it in the preview.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, we get the Chiefs Texans.
Mm-hmm.
CJ, we rocking with you.
Hey, man, bro. Hey, man. I don't know. I still may lean Chiefs, but maybe over these next couple of days, I'll convince myself to take the Texans because, like I said, man, they did a great job at convincing me.
And then the game of, in my opinion, the best game we're going to see all playoffs.
And they saved it for Sunday night, Bills-Ravens. They saved it for the perfect slot, so we'll be tuned in for that. All right.
That's it.
What else you got?
You want to talk about some coach openings at all?
Let's do it.
The Patriots officially hired Mike Vrabel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see people talking about that. It's like the Patriots should get out of the Patriots' way. But I think this is a pretty good hiring for the Patriots. I like I said, I wanted to see Mike Vrabel with the Jets because I could just see him. He fit in there. But I like it for the Patriots. He'll instill a culture over there. And I think, we always say the young quarterback needs the offensive-minded guy. But I think Drake May is a special talent to where he may not need that offensive-minded guy. And I think he'll be just fine with the guy that can instill a culture and a defense around him. So I think they'll be just fine.
I think a culture is the most important thing in an NFL locker room. And our guy Nico and Benchwarmer Brand, if you know who he is, they had a little thread going back and forth on Twitter. And Nico was a little skeptical of this hiring. And Brand he's a Patriots fan, and he's like, yeah, Drake May probably could have used an offensive coordinator, but we've seen such good flashes from Drake that any actual coach is going to help him a lot.
I think he may, let me not say coach proof, but I think he may not need an offensive-minded coach, and I think he'll be able to be just fine.
And he was saying that Mike Vrabel is not the best in the world, but what he was able to do with Ryan Tannehill was very impressive. Mm-hmm. And it was just a good thread.
Ryan Tannehill had MVP conversations, so absolutely. So I think they'll be just fine.
Since last time we talked, there's been a lot of completed interviews going on, a lot of requested interviews. anybody, if you're interested, just go look them up. Nothing else has actually been finalized.
What I want to talk about is the Cowboys. What the fuck was that?
Yep,
What the fuck was that?
Say, yeah.
You deny Mike the Bears access to
Mike McCarthy
to interview Mike McCarthy, and you guys can't come to terms. Apparently, it was the years they couldn't get the years right because the Cowboys wanted him on a 1 year, but Mike McCarthy wanted some security, wanted maybe 3 or 4. So they ended up just parting ways. So we'll see. Mike McCarthy may end up getting that interview with the Bears all along, even though the Cowboys denied him. And Deion Sanders had a talk with Jerry Jones for the Cowboys opening. And I seen a lot of some people talking about it, but I don't know how likely it is that's going to happen. Bill Belichick backing out of that job at UNC and coming back to coach the Cowboys.
I saw he loses a lot of money if he does that. He'd have to pay them a lot, but he's got a lot of money, so it doesn't really matter. The Jets and the Bears have requested or interviewed like a ton of people. So I'm kind of interested to see which way they go, because the Jets have gone weird routes. Like they interviewed Rex Ryan, they interviewed Steve Spagnuolo, they interviewed Ron Rivera. I think it'd be hilarious if they go to one of these bad coaches again and they continue to be in the same cycle. I know you're a big Aaron Rodgers guy, so you want to see him succeed. But the Jets, you just suck. Figure it out, dog. And the Raiders, they've only interviewed Ben Johnson.
Tom Brady wants him. And Ben Johnson, the Raiders weren't on his radar, but then Tom Brady put in a word. He wanted him, so now he's interviewing with the Raiders. So we'll see what happens there. And not to bring this back to the Cowboys, but now the Cowboys can't even interview for, say the Lions go on this run all the way to the Super Bowl. You can't interview with Ben Johnson now until after the Super Bowl, because now the NFL is not allowing teams, if you're still in the playoffs after the wildcard round, to interview, because it's like they need to focus on the playoffs. So you had this window from week 18 to the wildcard to make a decision on Mike McCarthy. And it was just terrible timing to say, now Mike McCarthy's not our guy. So you lose out on so many guys you could have interviewed. And it's the Cowboys going back to last offseason were just not ran well with this all-in mentality that they had and didn't do anything. So Jerry Jones, bro, what's going on over there? Let's make something shaken.
He's an idiot.
He needs to, please, just go live out the rest of your life and let somebody else worry about controlling the Cowboys.
Stephon Castle has 23 points tonight.
Shout out Stephon Castle.
Clint Kubiak took interviews with both the Seahawks and the Browns. I'm sorry, and I think that he is a great offensive mind, and he has ties with Kevin Stefanski. So if the Browns could get him, I think that'd be cool. And the only reason he's interviewing with these other teams is because the Saints probably aren't going to keep Rizzy, and when you move a head coach, they like to bring in their own guys.
That's another one. I think the Jets interviewed Dan Rizzi. That's one that I saw. I think it was the Jets that interviewed him. And that's when I was like, whoa, what the fuck? But hey, I don't know what's going on over there. Woody Johnson, do you, man? Do you?
He kind of he seems like he's a vibes guy. And I mean, that's something the Jets could definitely use. We can move on to some small talk before we get into two bigger segments. I got to say it. Shout out my girl, Madison Green. They played yesterday against... Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring this back, but Robert Saleh, he has a couple of head coaching openings or that meetings. I think it's the Raiders and the Jags that he has, I think it was. I know it's the Jags for sure. It may not be the Raiders. It's somebody else, I think. But I know the Jags is one for sure. But the Niners have it set.
The Raiders and the Jags.
The Niners have it set to where if he doesn't take a head coaching job, the Niners are planning to bring back Robert Saleh. So we'll see what happens there if he takes a head coaching job and decides to go to the Jags or the Raiders. But if not, he should be back with the Niners. So I'm happy to see that. Go ahead with your Madison Green talk.
They played Oregon yesterday. And Oregon got a girl named Deja Kelly who, a couple episodes ago, I said she scored her 2,000th point. And I would have absolutely loved to be at this game. It was in Ohio. It was in Columbus. But unfortunately, wild card going on and everything. On to small talk. Last episode, I mentioned we talked a good about our sleep schedules and everything. And I mentioned an app that I downloaded. And this morning I wake up. The first time I used it, it was you just do the memory game of clicking where the tiles had been. Second time I used it, you got to shake your phone for the alarm to go off. And I changed it to math problems because it's making my brain move. So maybe I'd actually wake up. And I remember waking up this morning, my Alexa's going off, just blaring my phone going off, and I got to do these math problems to get it to stop. And the only thing I can think of is, holy shit, get this off so I can go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm awake, bro. Like, you just get.
That's the thing. It's like you're already
bed.
up. You're already up. But it's like, let me just go back. You're already up. No, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Like last night, I fell asleep during Sunday Night Football, or like the Commanders and Bucks game. I had to go back and rewatch it because I still had it up so I can like go back, because I was still like watching it on TV, so I could go back and rewind and watch it. So that's what I ended up doing. But I fell asleep during that game, and I woke up maybe at like fucking like 12:30 or 1, and that's when I ended up watching Baby Driver. But I woke up then, and it's like, fuck, bro, I just ruined my sleep schedule even more. So I couldn't go back to sleep. I ended up falling asleep at like fucking 6:30 or 7 a.m. But I tell myself, it's like, you know what, I got that like 4-hour, 3-hour nap in earlier. It's like, fuck it, my body will probably only need, you know, another 3 hours to compensate, and I'll be good. Boy, I wake up at like fucking, I fell asleep at like 7. I wake up at like 10:30. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm up. Here we go. I just got my little 3 hours in. I got the 4 hours in earlier. Bro, I knock back out, and I check my phone, and it's 2 p.m. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, how does my body let me sleep for that long? It's like, why am I not just waking up? It's like, I shouldn't even need an alarm at this point, because it's like, bro, I got so much sleep in. How am I still sleeping? And it's like, I really gotta fix my sleep schedule, bro, because it's shitty. It is so bad, bro. It's so bad.
Yours is horrible.
Horrible. Because I'm gonna make the timestamps for this episode once we're done here. I'm gonna go to the gym, so I'm gonna get back home at fucking 4 or 5 a.m. I'm gonna sit here for a little bit on my phone, fucking mess around for another hour and a half. Get in bed, get ready for bed at 6:30. So, man, yeah, my sleep schedule is awful, bro. It's awful.
I thought about going to like the gym at night like you do,
Mm-hmm.
but we got a dog that barks at any noise,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd feel bad coming into the house and like waking everybody up just because.
And I went to the gym. My friend had asked me like, "Yo, let's go to the gym," and she goes during the day. And I was like, "Fuck it, you know what? Let's see what this going to the gym day is during the day is all about." And I went, and it was just fine. It wasn't packed or anything. It was just fine. Yeah, there was a lot more people in there, but no one was bugging anybody. We were all just doing our own thing. So, and I didn't have to wait on the benches or anything. I was able to do my workout in and get out of there. So I was telling myself, like, man, maybe I can just go to the gym before work now. But it's like, I didn't even get on that routine. I just went back to going to the gym at my usual times, and my sleep schedule is still fucked. So yeah, I don't know. I've been telling myself I got to fix my sleep schedule for the longest, but at this point, we'll see, bro. I don't know. I don't know. It's like maybe I just need a job that has me waking up early. Maybe that's the only thing that'll save my sleep schedule at this point.
I don't know, because mine's pretty bad too. But yeah. I'm gonna try that Alarmy app again tomorrow. I made the math problems a little bit harder, so maybe they'll actually.
Boy, they're gonna have you in there doing calculus, and you're gonna be pissed that alarm's going off for 30 minutes and you can't get. What if you like just power, like, have you tried just fucking like powering off your phone? Like, has it pissed you off to the point where it's like, bro, I'm shutting my phone off or anything like that?
No, because I've only had it for like 4 days, and I've only done math problems twice. And the first day I did it, it was like 48 plus 95 type math, and it's like, okay, well that's not hard. And every time you had to do three problems. And this morning it was like this times this plus this, and it's still super easy. So tomorrow it's going to be like 96 times 45 type math, and I'm going to have to do that in my head 3 times, and then
okay.
I hope it works, man. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. We
eat lunch together at work, and most days I don't eat lunch because I try to stay in a caloric deficit because I've been trying to lose weight, and they worry about me at work so bad, and every day it's like, man, just get what y'all want. If there's something that I want, I'll let you know. If not, I'm just gonna eat my little packs of goldfish. I'm gonna go home and eat actual meal then. And pizza is my favorite food in the whole world, and I can't ever resist it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So they go places where it's like, ooh, Brady could get a pizza there. I don't want it. Go somewhere else, bro. And I try to tell them this, and they don't listen, and it pisses me off. And I'm gonna have to just, yeah, y'all can go there. I'm good though. I'm gonna have to resist pizza, and I've never been able to do that.
But it's like you don't you don't have to skip out on meals to be in a deficit though.
I don't skip out on meals. I just don't eat out because we eat out for lunch every day, and eating a bunch of greasy shit like that's just not good for me.
Okay.
I try not to do that.
Mm-hmm. You don't even like. What about bringing something from home?
I could. I just don't. I've never really cared about lunch like that. I would rather eat breakfast and dinner.
Mm-hmm.
If I have one big meal, I want it to be dinner so I could go to bed full type shit.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it earlier in the episode. TikTok is getting banned in the next like 6 days or something. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. It's kind of crazy to see so many people are going to lose their careers over this ban. There's a lot of people. I don't know if you know who he is. I saw Michael DiCostanzo talk about it, and he's like...
I know who he is, but I didn't see him talk about it, no.
People have built themselves up for years and years at this point, and it's all just getting taken away from them and the snap of a finger.
Yeah,
and there's
me and the
nothing they
guys were
can
talking
do
about
about
that
it.
when I was working, about the TikTok ban. And then out of nowhere, my phone, like, I don't get Twitter notifications like that, and especially from people I don't follow. I get a Mr. Beast Twitter notification. It's like, don't worry, guys, I'll buy TikTok or whatever. But I was telling the guys anyway, it'll be like TikTok getting banned doesn't mean it's like gone from our phones or whatever. Like it's kind of like when Flappy Bird got banned. It'll still be on our phones, but we just won't get any more updates from it. They'll take it off from the App Store. So if you don't have it now, you won't be able to download it afterwards. So it'll still be there for now, but we'll see how it is
for a little while.
Yeah, we'll see how it is for months from now when there's no updates or anything. We'll see if it's still, any good.
I just don't understand why it's that big of an issue. Yeah, they're stealing data, I guess, but everybody steals data. There was a lawsuit or whatever for like $92 million about your phone listening to you, and I don't know how else you're gonna hear Hey Siri if it's not already listening.
Yeah, and now because I just updated my phone. I was on iOS 15 for the longest. I updated my phone like a week ago to iOS 18 or whatever, and I've seen it's like you don't even have to say Hey Siri anymore. You just say Siri in the middle of your conversation and she'll just pop right up. You don't even have to say, hey, Siri or shit like that anymore. So it's like, how are they not already listening to our conversations and shit? So it's weird. But it's like, I swear this TikTok ban was supposed to be a thing for years and years now. It always felt like TikTok's getting banned next month. And it's like, that was all smoke and whatever. No one's taking it serious. Oh, here we go again. TikTok's getting banned. Y'all be ready. And it's like, that's never happening. But now it's like, it seems like it's the real deal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens after the ban, but I don't know.
All right, that's all we got for y'all on football small talk. That we're gonna end this episode with the Baby Driver review. It's a phenomenal movie. If you've seen it, listen to us talk about it. If you don't care about it, you can still listen to us talk about it. But I would suggest if you haven't seen it to go watch it because it's an awesome movie.
And even if you don't care about this, we will be getting into the Worldwide Wrestling Waffle. So if you do care about that, you can skip forward to that. There's still some more stuff that we're gonna talk about after this. If you care about that and not so much about Baby Driver. So yeah, go ahead.
And we're gonna continue this, right? The movies.
Yeah.
Every like 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're not interested in Baby Driver, but you might be interested in the next one, then tap in with us. Where do you want to start?
Wherever you want. I'm following your lead.
So you had said that you watched a little bit of this
in Jacksonville
with the homies.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you could watch some of this and just shut it off.
I don't know what happened. I think we went to go do something or some shit like that. Because it's like not even all of us were watching. Like I think me, Joe, Suge, and Dirk were in the living room watching it, and Punks was he didn't even watch a second of this. So we were all watching it. And I think maybe just something happened, and we were like, all right, let's leave, let's head out somewhere. So we watched a little bit of it, and then that's how it happened. We just never went back to it.
You know who John Bernthal is?
Nope.
Just off the name.
Nope.
You know who? You ever seen The Punisher, the show?
All
right, well, he's the guy where he like is trying to intimidate Baby early on, and he smacks his glasses off a couple times, and he just puts the other ones on.
Mm-hmm.
And they get on the elevator, and he's like, "If you never see me again, it's because I died."
Mm-hmm.
And then you just never see him again in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of my favorite actors in like the whole world, and he's pretty cool in it. Jamie Foxx is my second favorite actor of all time. It's him and Will Smith at the top for me. I think he is just absolutely brilliant. But this movie starts, and he's working for Kevin Spacey, which, if you didn't know, Kevin Spacey is an absolutely terrible human being, apparently. So you probably won't ever see. You probably never see him in another movie, but
Okay.
he got a. I don't really know how the story still starts, and I've seen this movie like 4 times. I don't know if he stole the car from the guy, right?
Yeah,
That's
that
why he started
he
working
talked.
for
Yeah,
him.
he said he saw a baby stealing his car and shit, but he let him because he was like, "Wow, this kid has the balls to do that, and he's actually pretty good
Mhm.
at it." So he let him do it, and yeah, that's how baby started, working for him. Yeah.
And he just kind of used him for forever, and just
Mm-hmm.
kept using him. And then Baby goes to this restaurant, and
Mm-hmm.
he meets
Diner.
Deborah, Debbie.
Baby, baby. Man, shout out Debbie.
And him recording everything like he does, I think that's pretty cool.
It is cool, but it is kind of weird. It is kind of weird.
It's
But
very
Debbie,
weird.
she didn't even like think much of it. She just took the recorder and started speaking into it and whatever. She didn't even really think much of it. But it is weird.
You think she pretty?
I think she is. I think she is.
She's definitely that's a bad question. She's definitely pretty, but I don't know I don't know how pretty she is. I've always kind of wondered that since the first time I saw this movie. Like I
Okay.
don't know if she's. Anyways, Isaac
Yeah.
Gonzalez Isaac
Anyways.
Gonzalez is pretty. She is absolutely fine, dog.
Uh huh.
And she plays Darling in this movie. And Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy is my favorite character until he turns evil.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, this buddy guy pretty cool. Him and Darling, they're not like friends with Baby, but they got, especially Darling. She's like she got Baby's back. Like she'll defend Baby and shit like that. So I'm like, okay, this couple is pretty cool. Yeah.
We haven't said what the premise of the movie is. The premise of the movie is Kevin Spacey, his character name is, I don't even know. It's just Kevin Spacey, but he brings in his crews. They go through a whole elaborate scheme, and then they steal a bunch of money. And he never uses the same exact crew twice, but he uses Baby for every single escape
He's always
because
the
he's just
driver, yeah.
he's a phenomenal car driver. And the first one, they have John Bernthal, who I already talked about, and a couple other guys. The second one is Buddy and some good people, and then the third one, I believe, is like is the goofballs where they get caught a little bit and they wear the wrong masks and everything. And that one going south kind of
No,
screws his
that was
mind
in the
up.
beginning. That was in the beginning.
Was that the first one?
Yeah, not the very, because they started this movie off with some chase scene, some scene or whatever. But that when
Yeah.
they were like Jamie Foxx was in that one, and they had the goofballs. They had like the
Okay.
guy with a bunch of tattoos. He was Asian, and they had those. He was like it was supposed to be Michael Myers mask from Halloween and shit like that. But they came with some rubber fucking weird looking mask. Yeah.
It was like a yeah.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious scene.
Yeah.
But that one kind of starts to play with his mind a little bit, and he's ready to get out of it.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey's character told him he has like this many missions until he's done, and he hides his money under the floorboard. He lives with this old man who
He takes care of. He's deaf. What was his name? Joe.
Yeah, Joe. And shout out Joe, great character.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely. Yeah.
he does that last mission. He takes Debbie out to dinner. They're celebrating, and it's like, oh, your tab already got paid for. And he goes over and he talks to Kevin Spacey, and he's like, just because you don't owe me anymore doesn't mean you're done.
Mm-hmm.
He ropes him back in,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where he starts to get a little bit evil.
Yeah.
And they go to that one mission. It's Buddy.
And I was like, all right, fuck this guy. Well, I haven't pulled Doc. That's what I was like, fuck Doc. I was like, all right, you were kind of cool. I was rocking with you and Baby. You had Baby working for you. But now it's like you're holding Baby hostage and kind of using it against him, and you're telling me he's not going anywhere. So now that's when I turned on him. I was like, all right, fuck you. Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Because Baby and Deborah, they wanted to move away together because they had fallen in love fast. But Buddy,
fast, bro. They fell in love quick.
Buddy is John Hamm, for anybody out there that knows their actors. Darlin is Isaac Gonzalez, who was...
You said it 15 times. She's fine as hell. Uh-huh.
And then Jamie Foxx is... whatever Jamie
Bats.
Foxx's name is. Bats, yeah. And that's because he's batshit crazy. And they go to get guns for their next mission. And Bats realizes it's a cop that busted him a while ago, and they kill everyone in there.
Everyone, yeah.
And then they go back and they're staying in the place, and they're like, yeah, we're not going anywhere because we're going to make sure this mission goes through.
Yeah.
And Baby tries to sneak out, and they catch him, and
Buddy
they go, and
him, then Jamie Bats catches him, yeah. And then they end up going out to the diner. They're driving, and then Bats is like, Jamie Foxx is like, oh, let's stop at this diner. And then Buddy's like, no, we're not stopping. Or at first he doesn't say anything, and he's like, "Yo, but baby, stop!" And he's like, "No, we're not stopping." And he's like, "Why don't you want to stop there?" And he's like, "Oh, the food's not good. I don't like the food." And he's like, "Well, I don't give a fuck. Now that you said you don't like it, it gives me more reason to go in there." So he says, "Let's go." So they end up going in. Debbie, of course, is their waitress, and she goes up to them and she's looking at Baby and seeing the crew that he's with, and she's giving him some kind of weird eye. And he went in there and didn't say anything to her, so she's kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And then Jamie Foxx asks Baby, "Yo, do you know her?" And he says no. And so after a while, she kind of gives like rude customer service or whatever, but it's kind of directed towards Baby because he just didn't interact with her or anything. So Jamie Foxx's character Bats gets up and goes to pull out a gun and hold her hostage or hold her up or maybe kill her, whatever he was gonna go do. And Baby jumps up and grabs the gun and stops him. And then Jamie Foxx looks back at him like, "Oh, all right, bet." So they walk out, and he was like, "You know what? Whatever. Make sure you tip her well." So they walk out. Baby tips her and hands her a note that says, "We leave tomorrow morning" or something, because they've been saying they wanted to run away and just drive off into the sunset, listening to music or whatever. So yeah, go ahead.
And that was like the turning point in the whole movie, because that's where he really realizes he don't fuck with these guys. He wants out.
This is not his life. Yeah, this is not the life he wants. Yeah.
And the whole movie, we didn't really say it. The whole movie is extremely music themed. Mm-hmm. Like he loves music. He's always got music on. He's always got headphones in.
Even in the middle of the fucking missions, he has to drive away. It's like, hold on, I got to get the music right. I got to play the exact right
song.
Yeah.
It even never mind. We'll get to that. But they pull away. They go back and they knock Baby out. They go to his house. They find all those tapes. They're like, why were you recording all of our conversations? Mm-hmm. And he's worried about Joe immediately because it's an old deaf man. Mm-hmm. He don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And then they hear the one with Debbie, and he's like, and his word for word, he was like, "I thought you said you didn't know this bitch." And then Baby's like, "Oh fuck, they caught me." But yeah, continue.
They make him do the last mission,
mm-hmm.
and it's just Kevin Spacey's little nephew, and then Baby that go into the bank, and it's just Baby and the little kid that go into the bank, and
mm-hmm.
the kid is like just as in tune with it as Baby's supposed to be. He tells him how many cameras, how many guards, and everything there are. Baby was kind of nervous.
He was looking around because he was supposed to count the cameras, how many guards, how many workers. And the little kid just gives him a cough. He's like, 11 cameras, 4 workers, 1 guard, shit like that. So he just rattles it off to him. And they get back to the car, and Baby's reading it off, like listing off everything that was in there. And he forgets something, and then you can see the nephew in the back like holds up 4, like, 4 workers. So Baby tells him that too. So yeah, shout out to the nephew.
When he's in there, he's talking to the, what do they call them? The cashiers or the customer? The teller. Then the teller is a super nice lady, and they're going to rob this bank the next day. They're sitting out back. They're in the car. They're about to go in or whatever, but he parks in the wrong spot, and they're all yelling at Baby like, "Hey, get going!" And then he sees the teller start to walk in, and he's shaking her head no at him, or his head no at her.
Don't go in.
So she takes off and gets a police officer, mm-hmm. and that's when they're telling him to get out of there.
They come back to the car ready to make the getaway. They got all the stuff, and he's like, and Jamie Foxx is like, "All right, let's go."
He's just screaming at him to drive, and in front of him is a truck with a big ass pole on the back. Mm-hmm. So he just slams on the gas. And Jamie Foxx is sitting right in the passenger seat, so he goes right into that pole, and that pole goes right into. And that's when I was like, "Holy fuck! This movie just turned up," because it was not no like crazy killing or anything like that, no crazy scenes. But that was like, holy shit! That came out of nowhere, because I'm like, all right, Baby's eventually gonna pull off, but he just floors it just pushes it on the gas and goes straight into the back of that truck and just impales Jamie Foxx. And he jumps out. The airbags go off. He jumps out. Buddy and Darling jump out, and the cops are on their ass, and there's some nice scene where they're all running. Baby's fucking parkour over benches, jumping over walls, dodging cars. And then he's running from the cops. Darling and Buddy are running from the cops as well. They kind of get separated. Then they end up getting back to, because Baby's running from the cops. He runs to a mall, gets a disguise or whatever. He hot wires a car outside of the mall, and he's trying to get away out the mall. He's driving away, and what do you know? He hits a car, and it's Buddy and Darling. So they jump out. Both their cars are wrecked, so they jump out and start shooting at the cops. And the cops are shooting back, and Darling's in that bitch going crazy like this, holding 2 SMGs, just going crazy.
and she gets hit and dropped to the floor, and then through like the crack of the car, Buddy looks and sees Darling on the ground. And then he looks at Baby and is like, this is all your fault. Then he starts going crazy and just picking off all the officers. And after that, he's just on Baby's ass. He's just hunting Baby the rest of the movie.
He's literally like a horror movie for Baby. It's just chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
And because Baby got the love of his life killed, he wants Baby dead. And Baby goes to get Deborah. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to get Deborah at the diner. And he walks in. And what do you know? Buddy's already sitting there with the gun in his newspaper.
There. Yeah.
And they had their little conversation. And he walks in and he's like, your friend's here. He just looks over and he's bleeding out of like every crevice he could.
Mm-hmm.
The cops walk in just to get a coffee or whatever.
He used the bathroom. He went to go. He's like, you guys have
use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And shit goes down.
Mm-hmm.
I think Baby shoots him once or twice.
Baby doesn't even give him the chance. He grabs the gun. He shoots Buddy. But Buddy doesn't die, and he just grabs Deborah, and he's like, let's get out of here. But then Buddy ends up, because so the cop comes out of the bathroom, and obviously if the cop realizes who Buddy is, Buddy's going to jail. So Buddy doesn't even give the cop the chance. The cop is like, yo, got dude on the ground to Buddy, are you all right? Buddy turns around and just shoots him. And then all the workers run out, and then Baby and Deborah run out the back, and then the other workers scream into the cop, and she's like, "He just shot a cop in there! He just shot him in there!" And then the cop, then she points back, and then Baby and Deborah are already gone. They already booked it. Buddy's in there. He gets out of there. So the cops are on the chase again, and then they get to some parking garage.
They're at some random store,
yeah,
and there's a Challenger sitting in the parking lot, and he goes up and he's like, we're taking your car.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, can I at least keep my phone? And Baby's like, no. And he gets to his music,
mm-hmm.
and they literally sit in the parking lot until he finds the right song to get the escape route with.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they get to the parking garage, and what do you know it? He gets there. He gets there to
first
to see Kevin Spacey's character, because he's like, I don't know what to do, and Kevin Spacey doesn't really want to help him because he just fucked him over, but he ends up helping him anyways.
And that's when I was like, all right, we're back. I fuck with this guy again, yeah.
And he fights Buddy for a little bit. Baby tries to escape. Buddy and Baby are too close, man.
I'm doing the same thing, yeah.
But he fights Buddy for a little bit, and he kills Kevin Spacey's character off. And then they fight in this parking garage forever.
Forever, bro. Forever.
But like there was so many different like scenes of them fighting, and they were all cool.
Yeah.
And then when the cop car's just slowly creeping at him, lights on, he's like, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when he first pulled up in the cop car, I thought it was the cops, but then they show Buddy in the driver's seat. So it's like, this dude killed the cops and took their car. Hey, he's badass. So yeah, they go at it. And he eventually gets Baby cornered, and then he gets Baby, and he has the gun. It looks like he's going to shoot Baby, but then he shoots on the right and left of him. And he's like, I'm going to take away what you love the most. Yeah, and it's his music. You know, Baby loves his music, so it's like, you're never going to be able to listen to music again. He tries to make him go deaf, shoots on the side of him. And he has a Baby's down on the ground, and then he's like, now you're going to watch me fucking kill or Deborah or whatever.
Deborah.
Yeah. So Baby, the gun is on the ground now. Deborah runs out and she hits Buddy with a crowbar or something like that. Baby gets the gun off of the ground, shoots him in the kneecap, and then he falls back onto his car that had fell off the ledge of the parking garage, and boom, now he's dead.
Falls like 30 stories.
Yeah. And then the end, man. It looks like they're going to get away. It looks like they're going to get away and, live happily ever after. But they're driving over some bridge, and the cops have it barricaded. And then they try to reverse it. They look in the rearview mirror. There's cops behind them, so there's nowhere for them to go. And Deborah is gonna she revs up the car and looks like she's ready to just go drive right through this barricade. But Baby stops her and he's like, no. And he takes the key out of the ignition. He gets out of the car, throws the key into the lake, and he just puts his hands up and surrenders. And he's like, this is not the life you're supposed to live. And he's like, I made the decisions. I made the poor choices. So, I'm going to handle this. So he gets out the car. They arrest him. She's screaming, no, don't do it. Don't do it. But, Baby, for all the shit he did, you're expecting him to get life in prison or whatever like that. But throughout the movie, Baby made these decisions to where it's like you can tell he's a good guy. He just got caught up with the wrong people. Because they're like you talked about, it was the Challenger or whatever. He took the car from those people. Prior to that, he took a car from the old lady, the purple car, when he went back to go see Joe and pick up Joe.
Throws his purse back.
Yeah, he gave the lady her purse back. Joe even defended him because he dropped off Joe to the retirement home, and Joe was like, good luck when he was on the run. And Joe had like these people all defended him in court. The lady that he gave her purse back to was like, he was such a nice young guy. He took the car, but yeah, he still gave me my purse back. The teller, she was like, I was walking into work and he just shook his head telling me not to go in. Joe, he's deaf, but he was using sign language and was like, this kid is taking care of me. He's a good kid. He's not a bad guy. Deborah took the stand for him and was like, he's such a nice guy. He doesn't, he didn't mean to do any of this. So Baby ends up getting 25 years, but he can get off at 5 years with probation. After 5 years, he can get off. So he ended up getting a lighter sentence because you could tell throughout the movie he was a good guy that was just caught up with the wrong people. So really good movie. I really enjoyed it.
What would you rate it? 1 through 10?
I was thinking about this when I finished watching it, man. I think I'd probably give it like an 8.8, 8.9 out of 10. I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a really good movie.
Good to hear. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times.
I was telling you, I was like, all right, bro, let me finally put on this movie because we got to review it tomorrow. Let me put on this. I put it on one monitor and I was like, I'm going to play some Xbox. I'm going to play Madden while I watch. And I didn't even get the chance to load up a game. It just had me hooked. Like I got to the point where I just put down my controller and I moved the movie over to my main monitor because I was like, all right, fuck Madden. I'm not playing that. I'm gonna watch the movie because it just had me hooked, and I never had the chance to even play a game.
You ever heard of Letterboxd? It's like a movie review type app. So like if you've seen a movie, or you can rate it and stuff like that. And I only have like 15 5-star movies ever watched, and it's one of them. I think Baby Driver is just incredible.
I loved it. I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I was even telling the guys like, yeah, I know we watched Baby Driver back in Jacksonville. It's like if you never got the chance to finish it, yeah, I think you should because I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it was definitely a really good movie.
So 2 weeks from now will be the 27th where we review the next one. You want to pick it now, or should we pick it on the next one?
Like on Thursday, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you could go ahead and give it out now. Go ahead.
You want to do a sports movie? A serious... Oh, wait. The war movie we can't do. Because you got taken on Netflix. Ah, you fucker. All right, sports movie. A mystery type drama movie. Like a music type drama movie. An action movie or a dumb comedy.
We can do a mystery.
All right, it's called Focus. It's Will Smith. It's Will Smith and Margot Robbie.
I mean, it's on Netflix, right?
It was last time I checked. I'll check again just to make sure.
All right, Focus.
They take some stuff off sometimes when it's end of months.
So if anybody wants to watch it with us, you just heard them. The movie is called Focus. It should be on Netflix.
Not on Netflix.
It's not on Netflix. Okay.
You want to pick a different one?
No, that's fine. I can watch it. But to anybody out there that wants to do this with us, the movie is called Focus, like he said, with Margot Robbie and Will Smith. All right. Moving on.
It's not on any services right now. Wait, it might be on Prime.
I'll watch it. Don't worry about me. I'll watch it.
I know you'll watch it. I'm trying to see for the people who don't want to watch it in the way that you're gonna watch it.
Whoa, what does that mean? Maybe I have the DVD at home.
It's on Prime Video to watch for free.
Okay. All
right. That's it for anybody who doesn't like wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, we're gonna get into our worldwide wrestling waffle. For the 4 dubs. Do we want to talk about SmackDown or no?
I was gonna say, I don't have much to say about SmackDown. What I will say about SmackDown is SmackDown being 3 hours right now is a drag. I was telling, I think, Dark earlier back a couple days ago too. I've been saying it a lot. SmackDown being 3 hours right now is just not good. Whereas Raw, when it's 3 hours, it breezes by. SmackDown being 3 hours, it feels like it
Drags.
drags so much. They just don't have the superstar talent, especially when like Roman Reigns is on his hiatuses and shit. He's not there. Solo Sikoa wasn't there. They need a guy like Drew McIntyre over there, and they're doing this whole
It's only Cody.
they're doing this whole shake up or whatever, or what do they call it? The transfer window, transfer portal, or whatever they're calling it. SmackDown needs some talent over there bad. They need some people, some Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre, some like a few people got to go over there to make it worth being 3 hours, because there's no reason why this show should be 3 hours right now. It should be 2 with the roster that they have.
I saw today they said that the Wyatt Six got transferred over, but I haven't seen a single episode of them. I've just seen clips, so I don't know if they're any good or not.
They are pretty good in the ring, but they're gonna need more than the Wyatt Six to make it worth being 3 hours. Because like SmackDown drags so much being 3 hours right now, and I know they're going back to 2 hours in June. But so this is gonna be a big stretch for them to see, what it's like for them 3 hours, because they got 6 months of them being 3 hours. We'll see if they, in the superstar shakeup, the draft or whatever, they get some talent over there, because they desperately need it. And the bloodline thing, it's like, what are we doing now? It's like, is the bloodline still like going after Roman? It's like Roman lost, and it was apparently Solo was gonna acknowledge Roman, that he has to follow back. Everybody was gonna fall in line. So I'm kind of confused as to where the bloodline story is going at this point. But we'll see. I'll just go along for the ride. But it's kind of weird times right now on SmackDown.
So we had Chelsea Green. She beats Michin. Who cares?
Whoa! We care.
You like Chelsea?
I like Chelsea, and I love Michin so much. I've gone to NXT a few times. She was there. I love watching her. I love watching her wrestle. She's amazing. I think so underrated. Shout out to Michin. But yeah, continue.
And then you had the Los Garza, which is Angel and Humberto.
Mm-hmm. We're not talking about all these matches on SmackDown, but they are pretty good. They are definitely an underrated tag team.
Pretty Deadly still there, and who cares? All Shinsuke right. And LA Knight.
That's one where it's like, I'm over the Shinsuke and LA Knight US title thing. I just don't, for as much as I wanted Shinsuke to win, and because he came back with this new persona, this new gimmick, it's like, yeah, he deserved to win, because it felt like every time they propped him up, they never gave him the belt, because he had that whole run last year, not last year, but in 2023, I think it was, with Seth Rollins. He had like 3 matches with him, never beat him for the title. He had matches with Cody, never beat him. So I was definitely pulling for them to give him the belt, and they did. But now it kind of feels like kind of a dry storyline. So maybe that belt should have stuck with LA Knight or gone to Mello or Andrade when they were beefing. So yeah,
it's just both of these guys were built up so much, and they just didn't capitalize. And now that you're trying to, I don't care about Shinsuke or LA Knight anymore.
Yeah. LA Knight, I think, should head over to Raw pretty soon here, and maybe he goes heel, who knows, but I just don't know. I'm kind of cool on LA Knight right now.
Like when LA Knight, when he fought Roman, and Roman was doing his long entrance, and LA Knight just walked out beside him and looked at him and kept walking.
That's the type of shit I want to see from LA Knight. I'm just not like him and Logan Paul, like shit like that, where he's pulling up to Logan Paul gets home, and LA Knight is just chilling in his pool, just feet kicked up on a floaty in his pool. That's the type of shit I want to see from LA Knight. I'm just not digging him and Shinsuke right now, but we'll see where that goes.
We had the
we don't want to talk about.
Okay.
We don't want to talk about SmackDown. It's just not good right now.
Punk starts Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Announces, he says, Cena, I see you. I've always seen you.
Yep. He's so good, bro.
Beautiful segment.
He's so good on
He says, I saw you going to be in the Royal Rumble, and so am I.
Hey, man, the Royal Rumble is stacked. But I'll let you continue, because a couple more people announced they're going to be in it. So I'll let you continue.
And then boom. Whoa.
Yeah, CM Punk is like, so hit my music. Yeah, and then Seth Rollins' music hits. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it cuts to CM Punk, and he's like, he goes, why can't Rhea Ripley ever interrupt me?
Yeah.
He's hilarious, bro. Growing up, I hated CM Punk because of the new Nexus shit.
Oh, okay.
And he was like against John Cena and against Hornswoggle and everything, and it's like, okay, he's supposed to be bad, but he's phenomenal, dude. I can't root against him anymore. Seth announces that he's also gonna be in the Rumble, and he's talking for a little bit, and then You hear the sword playing against
I
it.
love Drew McIntyre, man. Mm-hmm.
And neither one of them want to see Drew because he's got beef with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they come on and have their little segment, and he
Yeah.
announces that he's also going to be in the Rumble.
And this is what the Rumble is stacked. Just the names we have announced right now is Seth, Punk, Drew, Cena, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso is gonna be there. LA Knight's gonna be in it. There's so many names that are already announced for the Rumble. Like you really don't know who's gonna win it. It is stacked. It is stacked. So that's gonna be fun to see. But them three cutting the promo together. There was a show in 2024. That's the same episode where The Rock beat down Cody. It was that episode in Chicago. Them three had a promo together. Drew was sitting crisscross on the announce table. Seth and Punk were in the ring together. Them three together just make magic. It was so much fun to watch all three of them go at it because they all just hate each other. So it got me thinking maybe this is the route they take for Mania. It's a triple threat with all three of them. Because CM Punk and Drew McIntyre had an amazing feud. That trilogy that they had ended in that Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. CM Punk and Seth Rollins, we know their beef. Drew McIntyre beat Seth Rollins at Mania last year to take the title before he got cashed in by Damian Priest. So I hope that I'm down for them to go a triple threat route between these three at Mania. I would love to see CM Punk go after a title, but if not, I'm down for this triple threat to happen at Mania.
I love CM Punk and Seth Rollins. I'm not the biggest Drew fan, but
love Drew McIntyre.
I can recognize how good he is. All three of them, they don't need each other. They can make magic with literally anybody.
Absolutely.
Next thing we get is Chad Gable comes out with his little weak-ass theme song, dude. That thing is horrible.
I love the American-made theme song.
No way.
I love it a lot.
I guess they got some Lucha Libre.
And George Kittle, George Kittle does his little first down celebration. That's where he gets it from, Penta, by the way.
Didn't know that. He's one of the biggest luchas I've ever seen. He's a big fella.
Yeah, he's huge. Yeah, he's a lucha, but he's kind of like a bruiser. So it's a nice combination. I was watching this at work, and this was a really good match. They had some really cool spots. Like he calls it the Mexican Destroyer, the Canadian Destroyer, really, but he did it to Chad Gable, and it literally looked like Chad Gable died. Chad Gable got flipped over and was face first on the mat, and he ends up kicking out of that. So this was a really good match. Had some really good spots in it. It started off kind of slow, but they ended up cooking. So this was a really good match. Shout out to Chad Gable and Penta, and he had a nice little promo afterwards too, and the crowd was really into it as well.
I think Chad Gable is great. I wish they would have let him be solo for a little while.
Yeah, they kind of fumbled it. Triple H kind of fumbled the Chad Gable stuff because how has he not been an IC title IC champion yet? You kind of thought for a while, okay, it'd be him to beat Gunther at Mania. Then it's like, okay, he'll probably beat Sammy. Then it was like him and Otis had this whole thing, but they never did that. So yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on Chad Gable and this push that he was supposed to have. Now he's with American Made, and I like this faction, but it kind of seems like they're kind of just pushovers at this point. So hopefully at some point Chad Gable becomes he already is a household name, but a guy that you just don't expect to just get fed to a bigger guy and just lose. So I expect him to be on SmackDown, him and American Made to go over to SmackDown soon. So hopefully he can get something done over there.
Next match makes me sad because Sheamus is just kind of a mid-carder right now. And I love Sheamus, bro.
I really think it's just because he hasn't won the Intercontinental Championship, so he's just trying to become a Grand Slam champion. So I think Sheamus could be in the world title picture if he really wanted to, but I think the end goal for him is just to become a Grand Slam champion and have all those championships to his name. So I don't mind him going for the IC title right now.
I think they give it to him here. I think that he wins against Braun at no. I think that they probably give it to him at WrestleMania.
So you think he loses at Saturday night's main event? That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be at WrestleMania, but it's like, dang, he's getting another opportunity against Braun at Saturday night's main event. So it's like, is he going to lose there, then get another match at Mania when he's already had chances in the past? So I don't know if it goes all the way to Mania. We'll see. I hope that's when he gets his moment. But I wouldn't be surprised if he also won it at Saturday night's main event. Whenever Sheamus gets it, I'll be there rooting for him because I've always liked him. Even when he first started and he was beefing with John Cena right out the gate, and he beat Cena. I could get why you hated him, but it's like I respected him right away because it's like this fucking pasty ass guy, Ginger, just comes out and is whooping on John Cena right away. So I respected him from jump. So shout out to Sheamus.
He just kicking everyone in the face.
Yeah,
I started to like him when he would pull him against the ropes and then
The beats of the
chop him in the
Baron, yeah.
chest 100,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
I would not take that. That's not something I would let him do to me.
Yeah, shouts to Sheamus. Hopefully he eventually gets that IC title.
I think he will. And Braun Breaker being ringside is I love when they do that.
I like them having the superstars ringside. They did it a lot more, and for the first Raw on Netflix, they had a bunch of superstars ringside, even people from SmackDown. I really like that because it kind of makes it more. Not, I guess real's not the word, but it's more just intense.
It is, though.
Or more real. Okay, yeah, it's just like more realistic in a way. It's like, yeah, my opponent that I want to face is sitting ringside, scouting out the competition. He's right there. We can have, while the match is going on, I could take a look at him and add some heat, some intensity to our rivalry. So I like the dynamic of the even if someone has nothing to do with the story, I just like seeing the superstars ringside watching matches and watching the show going on.
What you think about Sammy? He kind of like a throwaway to me.
I have not been a huge Sami Zayn guy, I will say. I've always said the Sami Zayn, not always, but like as of late, the past year or so, I've said the Sami Zayn like character is kind of played out. It's like we know when he comes out, he's gonna be, oh, I'm the underdog, I'm this, I fight with my heart, I have heart. That's why I'm giving myself a chance because I have this, you don't have this, I have heart, so that's why I want to face you and have this match. It feels like every time he has a promo against a top dog, that's the same thing he kind of falls back onto, to where it's like, I'm the underdog, everybody doubted me, I have the heart and all this. So I'd like to see him go in a different direction, but I think that'll change. I think that'll get back going because I think him and Kevin Owens is going to be a match at Mania this year. So I think that'll, he'll look a lot better going into Mania.
I'm so sick of him and Kevin Owens, dude.
I'm down for them to have a match. I am down for them to have a match. With the way Kevin Owens is looking these days, I'm down for them to go at it again.
I want Sammy to turn heel. I know probably won't happen, but I think he could do it.
Not maybe that it'll never happen, but not right now because I think the end goal is for him and Kevin Owens to have a match at Mania, and Kevin's obviously the heel right now, so I think for now Sammy stays babyface.
So I haven't watched WWE in a while. They've made that known. And they cut the Miz standing outside Antonio Pierce's little room.
Adam Pierce.
Holy shit. Who's Antonio Pierce? That's a real person,
Raiders,
right?
The Raiders.
The Raiders coach. Yeah.
Former coach, yeah.
They cut to the Miz, and I'm like, yes, I love the Miz. Challenge, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talking to that dude that turns the camera black and white. I don't remember his name, but Karrion Kross. And he looked good now. He used to look weird, but he looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like being mean to the Miz, and I don't know why. I don't
stick with them. Yeah, he's kind of forcing the Miz to be alongside him. Yeah.
I didn't know that, but it made me sad because I like Miz and I don't like him. So leave my friend alone.
All right.
And then Sammy just goes out and does a match with Miz, and they could have cut that because I could not have cared less about that match.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both good in the ring, so of course it's going to be decent, but it just didn't matter.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel you.
And then the biggest superstar in the world comes out.
Who was that?
Gunther walks to the ring first,
Mm-hmm.
Gunther.
Yeah.
He's standing there waiting. Mm-hmm. He's talking about his promo, blah 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 blah.
And I was wondering who's gonna come out because you could already tell somebody's gonna come out and interrupt him, challenge him. But I was wondering who is it gonna be? It's not Damian Priest. Damian Priest has a match later tonight, and his music hits, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, Jay. But it's like, wait, Jay, aren't you still having a little thing with Drew McIntyre? But I was like, shit, I guess not. But Jay comes out there and shoots his shot. He wants him at Saturday night's main event. And what I'll say is, man, in 2024, Jey Uso was the most over person, and they gave him so many chances, even before 2024. It's like, Jay, he's never going to win. He's never going to beat this guy. They gave him so many chances at the title. Then he finally did it against Braun Breaker. So it's like, oh, they finally, gave Jay the title. I feel like we're just going to go through that cycle again where it's like, Jay, they're going to hype us up, make us believe, and Jay's going to lose. And then maybe in a couple of months, and by the end of the year, he'll win a world title, but I just don't see him beating Gunther. I don't think he's going to be the guy to beat Gunther. I think it's going to be Gunther and Cena at Mania, so I definitely don't see Gunther losing to Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event. Yeah, at all.
I hope he does, though, because Jay's my favorite.
I'll root for him. I definitely will, but I just don't think it'll happen.
I think he's probably my favorite in the whole company right now, men's or women's.
And I can't blame him because when his music hits, the crowd just loses it. And there's nothing better than Pat McAfee on that table yeeting with the crowd, bro. It's
I'm yeeting
phenomenal.
all over the place.
And they love pushing it. They love nearly crossing that line. They love it so much. But yeah, it's really fun to see Jey Uso come out and Pat McAfee on the announce table.
You want to talk about that women's match at all?
We can, of course. Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai. I don't think there was a wrong.
It was supposed to matter.
I don't think there was a wrong a choice here, but Lyra Valkyria ends up winning and is the inaugural for women's world or women's intercontinental champion. She beats Dakota Kai.
And that's
They
the
have a
wrong
nice
choice.
they have a nice moment afterwards, but I think it's the right choice because Lyra Valkyria is your young up and coming star. You're building her up, and she already got second place in the King of the Ring in 2024. She lost to Nia Jax. She beat Io Sky in both tournaments, in the IC title tournament and in the King of the Ring tournament. And then she gets to the finals in the Queen of the Ring. Sorry, the Queen of the Ring. She loses to Nia Jax at King and Queen of the Ring. So it's like she comes second place in that. So I didn't see her coming second place in this tournament as well. Even though I was kind of pulling for Dakota Kai, I definitely saw Lyra Valkyria winning, which I'm not upset at. She's a great in-ring talent, so I'm perfectly fine with it. I thought for a second we might have gotten a Dakota Kai heel turn, like she fucking hits her after she won. But no, it was a cool little moment. They hugged it out and she, embraced each other.
I love Dakota so much, and she had that little clip on Twitch or whatever she was at, and she's crying like, I just want to be champion, and you're not gonna be champion. They don't even entertain the idea. Yeah, you're in the finals, but never for a second did I think she was gonna win because they just be toying with her.
I don't think anybody in this tournament Raw's tournament was absolute ass compared to SmackDown's tournament for the U.S. title. For the U.S. title, the women's U.S. title on SmackDown, there were so many deserving people, but on Raw, it's like the only women's storyline that got time for the past 6-8 months was Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. So nobody else got time. So no one even really deserved it on the women's side. But if anybody did deserve it, it was Lyra Valkyria because she's your young up and coming, talent. Has the in-ring talent. So I'm fine with that result. So shout outs to Lyra Valkyria.
I remember her getting drafted and her reaction with HBK was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then that fine motherfucker come out. Big ol'. I'd be cool if she was champion forever. She don't ever have to lose again.
Rhea Ripley comes out as champion, has a little promo. Mommy's back on top. Then out of nowhere, this is another one. It's like, okay, someone's music is gonna hit, and it's Nia Jax. And I was like, boy, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? But Nia Jax comes out, says she's entering the Rumble. She may go after Rhea. She may go after Tiffy. And then Bayley ends up being ringside, which is another thing I like. And Bayley's talking about how, because Bayley has her match against Tiffy. She won the number one contendership. So, yeah, they went at it. And then they ended up jumping Nia and getting her out the ring or whatever. So, yeah, the gist of it was, Rhea came out, celebrated for a hot second. Nia coming out saying she can go after Rhea or Tiffy, depending on who she chooses when she wins, if and when she wins the Rumble. So yeah, we'll see for now. No really set in stone rivalry for Rhea Ripley as of right now. She's just celebrating her title win.
Mrs. Jax, I dislike you. Priest versus Finn comes off, and I couldn't have cared less about this match going into it.
I agree.
But the match ended up being very good.
It was. But it was the expected, Judgment Day gets involved, War Raiders get involved. So it was kind of the expected end result.
So let me ask.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are the War Raiders? Have they been in the storyline?
They used to be the Viking Raiders, if you know who they were. They used to be the Viking Raiders. Eric ended up getting hurt, so it was just Ivar on his own. Then Ivar ended up getting hurt. They came back together like a couple of months ago, beat Judgment Day for the tag team titles. So they're the tag team champions right now. But yeah, they end up coming out helping Damian Priest. And man, bro, WWE and Triple H could not have done a worse job at making Finn Balor seem like he doesn't, like he matters. They couldn't have done a worse job. Because after SummerSlam, when Finn Balor turns on Damian Priest, cost him his world title to Gunther, Damian Priest loses his championship because Finn Balor turns on him, puts Gunther's leg on the rope. It's like, oh shit, here we go. Finn Balor's about to get this push. He's about to become a top dog again, a top star. And Finn Balor has done nothing but lose ever since. They have done a terrible job of building him back up. Damian Priest has whipped his ass every single time they've come in contact with each other. And what do you know? Damian Priest does it again. Damian Priest gets jumped by the Judgment Day, eats a moonsault from JD McDonough, a backstabber from Carlito, a moonsault from JD McDonough, then a coup de grace from Finn Balor. And I'm like,
table.
And I'm like, oh shit, it's over. Finn Balor's about to win. Then Finn Balor kicks out. Then Damian Priest has him up for South of Heaven. Then Finn Balor kicks out. I'm like, oh shit, Finn Balor still might win this. Then War Raiders come out, help him, and then it's like, all right, Damian's about to win this. He raises edges him through the table on the outside, then brings him back in and South of Heaven with the chair around his neck, and he still South of Heavens him and gets the win. So I love Damian Priest a lot. He's one of my favorite superstars on the wrestlers on the roster. So I root for him to win. But it's like at the demise of Finn Balor, I just don't know because they've just done such a bad job at building Finn Balor. And I just don't care. I didn't care about this feud at all. They had me at SummerSlam. It's like, oh shit, this could be interesting. Then they just took too long to get it going, and it was just complete ass. So I'm glad it's over. We'll see what they have in store for Damian Priest now.
It wasn't a great overall show, if you ask me. Last week
thought it was a very good show. I thought from the in-ring wise, I thought it was a really good show. I thought the matches were very good this week. I think
matches were good. Story-wise.
I think the matches were better this week than they were last week. Last week's matches had more meaning to them. Like, cause it's for the Ulafala Tribal Combat. It's for the championship with Rhea and Liv. It's Seth and Punk for the first time. Those had more meaning to them, but the matches just on a wrestling basis, wrestling-wise, I think were better this week.
See, you're more of a wrestling guy. I watch for the stories. I like the stories, and the stories didn't matter a whole lot this week.
Yeah, but I enjoyed this week of Raw.
It wasn't bad.
Not bad at all, but I think it was a better show than last week. Last week I felt like was more of we're trying to get new eyes in. We're putting on it was more of like just a show, like you said. It was more of a show than just fucking a regular Monday Night Raw. It was more of like, let's get these eyes in where it feels like, I don't even know what the word is for it. Like, yeah, they're just trying to get a bunch of eyes in, appeal to the more casual fan last week. But yeah.
All right. That's all we got for you. If you're at this point, we appreciate y'all immensely.
I'm so tired, man.
We love y'all.
We'll see you guys on Thursday for the divisional round preview. We appreciate you guys watching. Go down, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Especially leave a comment. I enjoy seeing the comments from you guys, seeing what you guys got to say. Go over to the TikTok before TikTok gets banned. Show some love over there. It's been doing pretty decent lately, so hopefully you guys, are enjoying those. Yeah. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you on Friday. Enjoy yourselves.
Peace.
Stay safe. Be a good person. Peace.